Hello guys, welcome back. I am Raseclight, and this is Corpse Party Book of Shadows. Yes, so we rescue Shinosaki now. So now we have to explore this place. Ooh, a buddy. It's a girl's body, seemingly junior or senior high. It's mostly decomposed down to the skeleton at this point. There's a duffel bag on its side next to her with a tracksuit partially hanging out of it. Athlete? And her student ID name tag is still clearly visible on her uniform. Mummy, mummy, I want my mummy jigawa. Mummy jiga. Ow, a mano. No, that's ow. Ow. That should have hurt. So, this. There's numerous. There are numerous scrapbooks on this shelf, each containing various newspaper and newsletter clippings. One in particular stands out. It's an old school tree ring binder filled with articles that are all over 30 years old. Like me!
1973年、天神小
1973.
学校
Serial
児童
kidnapping
連
and
続誘
murder
拐
at
殺害事
Heavenly
件
Host Elementary.
天神小
That's
学校っ
here,
て
right?
この学校だよね。
There was an article about that in one of the classrooms too, I think. Dashing through the snow, updashing the hopes and prayers of their concerned parents, three of the kidnapped children returned home tonight in body bags. Local police gave an official statement at around 4 a.m., I guess, yesterday afternoon. No, it's 4 p.m. Yuki Kano, 11, Yoshisawa, 8, and Tokiko Tsuji, 7, previously reported missing, were found dead in the basement room beneath the school, so the three ghosts. The circumstances behind their murders are still under investigation, and a suspect with ties to the school's teaching staff is in question. First responders report a shocking, grisly murder scene and have expressed concerns at even allowing the families of the deceased to see their children. Significant mutilation is said to have occurred, and officials believe the sight of this may exacerbate the already delicate mental states of the bereaved. There's a lot of words in this that I never heard before. The sole survivor of this unspeakable crime is 7-year-old Sachiko Shinosaki, who remains in shock from the experience. Yeah, in shock from laughing. Her testimony may prove invaluable towards closing this case and putting this horror behind us. However, so police are anxious to question her. Meanwhile, other parents have already begun calling Heavenly Host safety procedures into question in the wake of this strategy. Members of the PTA have. There's a snippet from another page as well, which includes photographs of the three victims as well as the lone survivor.
この子たち、私が見た子だ。
Oh, these are the children I saw.
俺たちも見たぜ。
I've seen them too. I guess they were killed here.
それでたたって
So now they've cursed the place or something. No, they haven't cursed it. They are trapped.
ひどい事件だったんだね。
It's so horrible to hear what happened to
最
them.
初見た時か
I've
ら
been looking at them as scary evil spirits all this time, but really, they're just victims
あの子た
themselves.
ちも被害
themselves.
者なんだ。
Yeah, if they're victims, why are they killing you?
鈴本さん、
Be
同
careful,
情心
Susumoto.
は危険よ。
Compassion can be dangerous
例
in
の
a
中
place
に
like
は
this.
完
Yes,
全の人格を
it's
失っ
not
ているものがあ
unheard
るの。
is not is not unheard of for a spirit to lose its senses of humanity after
今
dying.
のこいつらは生きて
In
る
other
人間
words,
にとって
these kids aren't necessarily going to play nice and with living beings anymore. What?
犯人は
Do
どう
you
なったんで
think
しょう。
what do you think happened to the murderer?
こっちの
Here
ペ
we
ージ
go.
に記事があるよ。
They talked about him in this one. Accused children murderer commits suicide. The 32-year-old former teacher believed to have committed the now infamous adolescent kidnappings and murders was found dead early yesterday morning. After being deemed mentally unfit to take responsibility for his action, he was placed in intensive psychiatric care, but escaped 2 nights ago. Oh, Michael Myers! The Psychiatric Ward commissioned a manhunt which culminated in the discovery of his hanged body in a room beneath Heavenly Host Elementary. Near the site of his shocking triple homicide, the oh, near the site of the shocking triple homicide, the cause of death was ruled as strangulation and is strongly believed to be self-inflicted. As this appears to be a show of remorse, previously thought beyond his mental capacity, his psychiatric ward has come under heavy fire since the discovery.
犯人も自殺かよ。
Even the murderer killed himself, huh?
救いねえな。
Guess there's no happy end for anybody. Thought the families of the victims were probably glad to see him go.
女の子が一人助かったのが
Well,
めてもだよ
there's that one girl who was spared too.
でも変ね
Isn't it
こん
kind
な大
of
きな事件
strange
なの
though
にその生き
that
残っ
there's
た子の家
not
族のコメ
one
ント
single
が一
comment
つもないわ
from the survivor's family?
どの記事を見ても
Every
誰も
article
殺
is
された
full
子
of
たちの遺
commentary
族や
from friends
同
and
級
family
生
of
の
the
保護者の
deceased,
談話ばっ
but
かり
there's not a word to be found anywhere about the girl who was spared.
プライバシー保護とかで
I'd
書け
assume
なかっ
that
たん
that's
じゃね
by request to protect their privacy or something.
そうなの
Do
かな
newspaper
マスコ
really
ミっ
care
て
about that new?
被害者
No.
も加害者も関係
The
なく
mass
取
media
材
is
して書き
always
立てるイメ
about
ージなんだ
chasing
けど
scoops, no matter what it takes to get them or who they have to bother. Dr. Tomokichi Fukurai's research records. Mesmer magnetism. Correspondences with Anna Sprengel. Serafita. Malleus Maleficarum. Voynich manuscript.
心霊学者の記録に
Records of
魔術結社
psychic
の通信
phenomena.
簿
Letters to
神
and
秘小
from
説の
magic
古典
societies.
小
Classic
学校
mystery
の備品とは
novels.
思えな
Not
い
your
わ
typical elementary school reading material.
貸し出し用の番号シールが
There
ない
are
から
no serial
この学
numbers
校の
or,
本じゃ
or
ないよ
library cards or anything on them, though. So they're probably not the
そうね
schools.
多
That's true.
分ここに迷い
Maybe these
込
were
んだ人
brought
た
by
ちも
in by other victims who got trapped here.
本の持ち主の蔵書名が
Actually,
してあ
it
る
looks like there's a name stamp on most of these.
キビキって
Kibiki.
読むのかな
Is that how you read those kanji?
ど
Wait,
れどれ
Kibiki?
本当
Wow,
だ
you're right.
この
I
人有名
recognize that
よ
name.
さっき名前が出
You
た
know the
サイノキナオさん
paranormalist
の
Nao
師匠と呼ば
Sainoki?
れてる作家の先生
Ko Kibiki is her mentor, is a journalist. Yeah, I just remember we found a team of the newspaper dude, the journalist, the camera dude, and now Sainoki.
キビキ先生も
So that means Mr. Kibiki is in here too? I guess, but why? Nothing in the shelf, nothing in the shelf. Can I look up? Is there anything up there? Nope. Can I look here? Can I look here? Nope, 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 nope. So, do I go now? To where?
そういえば
Outside.
私たち
I
は
wonder
こ
how
こに来
much
てから
time has
どれくらい
passed
時間経ったんだろう
since we got here.
携帯の時計
I don't know if I can
信用しても
trust
いい
my
の
cell
か
phone clock in a place like this.
確かに空
That's a
間
good
が変
point.
化するってこと
This
は
this
時間が
space
変
is
化して
being
るとも
changed
考えられ
around
るか
randomly. There's no reason to believe the same thing isn't happening to time.
俺の腹具合から
I
判
trust
断
my
すると
stomach though,
晩
and
飯
it's telling me
済ませ
that dinner time
早い
has
やつなら
already
布
come
団
and
に入っ
gone.
てる頃かもしんね
And
え
now
な
it's about when good boys and girls would go to bed. How would you know that?
お腹空きました
I have to admit, I am hungry. Can I munch?
できれば食べ物も
Maybe
探
we
さ
should
なきゃね
add finding
その
food
前
to
に
your
どこか
your
でちょっ
list,
と休憩し
Shinosaki.
よ
But for now, I think it's about time we found a nice cozy spot to sit and rest for a while.
そうしてもらえると
I think 'll
私も
like
助か
that,
るかも。
as I'm
冷静
really,
っていう
really
ほどじゃな
tired.
いけど
Not so tired that
妙に
I'm
体
worried
が
about
疲れてる
getting
みたい。
possessed or anything, but tired enough. And so, the four of us headed for the safest spot we could think of, settling in for a bit to help calm our spirits and refresh our bodies. Not the nurse place where there's beds. Alright? Almost immediately, both Kishinuma and Shinosaki sat down, closed their eyes, and fell fast asleep. Understandable considering what they'd just experienced.
二人とも眠っちゃったみたい。
Out like a out like a light, both of them.
きっと疲れてるんですよ。
They must be exhausted.
岸沼さん、あゆみさんを助けるために
Kishinuma went
いろい
through
ろ
a
頑張っ
great
てまし
deal
た
of
し。
turmoil to save Ayumi, after all.
ナナちゃんも疲れたでしょ。
Aren't you tired too? And you're tired too?
はい。
I am, but
けど
I just
なんだ
can't
か
bring
眠れなく
myself
て。
to sleep. I'm waiting for you to go to sleep so I can kill you.
ナリちゃんたちが
My
今頃
mind
どうして
keeps
るのかって
racing,
考える
wondering what Nari and the
と
others
今
are
すぐ
doing
走
right
り
now.
出したいくらい
I
です。
feel like I need to be ready to run out after them at a moment's
あ
notice.
るよ。私も
I know
シゲ兄のこ
I
とを
know
考え
just
ると
where you're coming
すご
from.
く
I get the
焦ってくる
same
って
way
いう
when I
か
think of of
今
brother
す
Sheik.
ぐ顔見たく
I
なっ
wish I could see his face right now, you know.
あれ
Huh?
ナナちゃん
Nana?
その足
What happened to your legs? I felt a chill in my stomach on my stomach as soon as I saw them. They were the same bruise-like markings around Nana's slender, soft thighs that I've seen before. But they become much darker in color. They look pink originally, as if she just rubbed her skin up against something. But now they were a deep, dark purple, the color of
大
grapes
丈夫
or
痛くない
bruises. Are you alright? Does it hurt?
あざならさっきからあ
You
り
mean
ま
the
したけど
bruises? They've been there since before.
そうじゃなくて
Yeah,
なん
but
か濃くなってるから
they're darker now. What's with this music?
本当だ
Oh,
変な色になって
you're
る
right. What a weird
な
color.
んだろう
What's happening? You're rotten.
内出血してたから時間
It
が経
probably
って
just changed color over time from the blood rushing to the
あんま
surface.
り気にしな
I
い方
doubt
がいい
I doubt it's anything to worry about. Sorry.
でも跡が残ったら嫌
I
だ
just
な
hope it doesn't leave a scar.
ナナちゃん美脚だもんね
You do have beautiful legs after all.
そんなことないですよ
Please, I don't.
スタイル良くて羨
I'm
ましいな
jealous. You're so thin and gorgeous.
ナナちゃん
If I were as tall as you, brother Sheik and I will sure look a lot more natural together.
彼氏さんですか
Is he your boyfriend?
そういう
No,
のじゃ
nothing
ない
quite
んだ
like
けど
that. I guess you could say
大事な
he's
人
just a really important person to me. Oh, that's right, because Sheik is brother to Yuka.
いつも近くにいてくれて
He always stands by
私
me,
のダメな部
accepts
分
me,
を受け入れてくれて
accepts me for who I am,
私を
despite all my
支えてくれる
flaws,
人
and always supports me in whatever I choose to do.
素敵な人なんですね
He sounds like a boyfriend. He sounds wonderful.
私にとってはね
Yeah, I'm not
同
just
じ演
saying this
劇部だからっ
because
てわけじゃ
we're
ない
in
け
the
ど
same drama
王子
club,
様なん
but
でし
he's
ょ
like some kind of prince.
死ぬまくん
Though
なん
if
かに言
you
わせる
ask
と
Kishinuma,
悪
he's
い
a
魔
evil
法
wizard.
使いらしいけどね
Hehehe.
岸沼さんって
Kishinuma has a
やっ
thing
ぱ
for
りあ
Ayumi,
ゆみさ
doesn't
んの
he?
ことあれ
Oh, does that bother
ナナ
you?
ちゃんって
Are
ば
you taking an interest
あ
perhaps?
違います
Ah,
そうい
no,
うんじ
no,
ゃ全然
nothing like that.
ごめんお約束だから
Sorry,
つい
I had to ask.
でも実
No,
際
you
のと
didn't.
こ岸沼
Actually,
くんにとっては
Kishinuma
厳
got it
しい状
pretty
況なの
rough.
よね
He's got a rival for
ライバルがい
Shinasaki's
ると
affections.
お似合いなのに
Ah, but they look so cute
似
together.
た者同士でもあるのよ
They're a
ね
lot like in many
素直に
ways,
なれないところ
particularly in
が
their
特に
complete inability to be honest about how they feel.
まゆさんも森重さん
I'll
の前
bet
で
it's a
素
lot
直に
like
なれ
you
なかったり
when
するんで
you're
すか？
with Morishige, isn't it?
だから
Oh, come
そ
on.
ういう人
I
じゃない
already
って
told
ば
you. It's
そう
nothing like that with us.
でも
Yeah, sure.
自分
So,
でもよ
I
くわ
guess I
からな
really
い
don't
な
know
こ
how
の
to
気持ち
classify the way I feel. I mean,
しげにに会ったら
when I do
ど
finally
うしたい
see
んだ
Shig,
私
how should I react? What do I want him to do?
岸沼くんみたいに
Do I
抱き
want
しめ
him
て
to
ほしい
pull
の
me
か
into
な
his arms like Kishinuma did
そ
with
れとも
Shinosaki?
頑張って
Or do
な
I
って
just want him to
頭
pat
撫
me
でても
on
らい
the
たい
head
の
and
か
tell
な
me and tell me I did good?
やっぱり実際
There, there.
会ってみないとわかんないや
I guess I won't really know until the time comes. If it comes.
会えますよきっと
It'll
岸
come.
沼さんがあゆみさんに
Just
会っ
like
た
it
みたい
did for
に
Kishinuma and Ayumi.
あ
Hmm,
りがと
thanks.
う持田くんも
I hope
ゆかちゃんが
Mochida is
昔の
able
先
to
輩と会えてる
reunite
と
with
いいな
Yuka and
先生が
Nakashima
篠
too.
原さんも
And Miss Yui and Shinohara.
みんなで帰って
We all
なんか
meet
その
up
時撮っ
and
た
go
写メ
back
交換
home
して
and probably exchange that photo we took together after the culture festival.
私も
I
みんなと
really want to see my
会いたいな
friends too. Oh,
ごめん
I'm
ね
so sorry.
私ってば
I've just been
自分
talking
の
about
話ばっ
myself
かり
all this time. Yes,
私ちょっと
I think
その辺見てきますね
I want to go scout
お手
around
洗いも行きたく
for
なっちゃ
them
った
real
し
quick. I have to go to the bathroom anyway.
一人で
By yourself? Isn't that dangerous? Yes, it is. But she's stupid.
ちょっとだけですから
I'll only be gone for a moment. Nope.
お友
And
達
she's
の
gone
ことを
forever.
思い出して
I guess
じっ
thinking
としていら
about
れな
her
くなっちゃっ
friends
たのかな
got her all worked up. She probably just couldn't sit still any longer. Mm-hmm. She's gonna die.
鈴本
Suzumoto?
起きてたの
Kishinuma,
くん
you're awake?
一緒に行ってやってくんねえか
Shouldn't you go with
念
her
のためにさ
just to be safe?
そうだね岸
You
沼くん
probably
は
should.
篠崎
You
さん
stay
見てて
here
あげ
and
て
keep an eye on Shinosaki.
すま
Ooh.
ねえなんかあったら
Thanks, I
できる
will.
限り呼べよ
If anything happens,
篠
just
崎
yell
叩き起
real
こして
loud,
飛んでっ
okay?
からよ
I'll smack Shinosaki till she's awake, and the two of us will come running.
暗い
Okay.
から
The hallways
篠崎さんの
are
ろうそく
pretty dark,
一本
so
借り
I
るね
think I'm going to borrow one of her candles.
危ねえから
Just
小
be
笠原
careful.
見つけたらすぐ
Once you
戻ってこい
find
よ
Ogasawara, you two come right back here. Got it? The bathroom felt empty. There was no indication of Nana's presence whatsoever.
ナナちゃんと入れ違いになっちゃっ
Maybe
た
we
のかな
passed one another without realizing it. The corridors are not that big, and it's not that dark, and you have a candle. No! No!
ナナちゃん
Nana!
どうしたのナナちゃん
What's wrong, Nana? Someone died. Ah! The sound that echoed through the hall was like that of a butcher slicing up a large chunk of meat, bone and all. And this sound was accompanied by the dimly lit figure of Nana sprawled out on the ground in front of me. Hello, Shaylee. Or rather, part of Nana. It was really just the top half of her body, severed cleanly at the thigh. Her legs were completely gone. And the worst part is, she was still fully alert and aware. My legs! My legs! Gasp. Nana! This grisly sight was too much for me to handle. What the fuck? This game, holy shit. I became weak in the knees and fell backwards, landing on my butt. I need butt cream now. I couldn't move. It hurts. It hurts. My legs. My legs. Nana was bending and contorting her back and writhing, writhing, writhing on the ground as if struggling to escape the pain and the fear. I wanted to help her, but I had no idea what I could do. Nothing had ever prepared me for a situation like this. I think nobody. I couldn't stand up. I couldn't even think. She was looking at my panties in this position. The sight of Nana's squirming body, gushing blood every which way, was burning itself into my mind. It was the most frightening thing I've ever seen. It hurts. It hurts. I could sense the presence of another person in the shadows just behind Nana's torso. Who was it? The darkest The darkness was all encompassing past a certain point, giving only the vaguest notion of a human silhouette within an inky black void. Who, who's there?
そこ
That's
更衣室
the locker room. No,
違
wait,
う
it's not.
どこなの
Where is this? What's back there? That door should have led into the pool locker room, but the lighting, or lack of it, was completely wrong. There was also an indescribably foul odor wafting from within, so powerful and revolting that I felt it could never leave my senses again. And whatever being was lurking in the shadows of that horrible room was getting closer to me, step by step. Are you sure you don't wanna just go? I still couldn't make out a single feature, but frankly, I didn't want to. His existence alone was threatening enough. Whoever this was, I could sense his shadow posturing itself over Nana's head, as if preparing to swallow it whole, like a crocodile. In fact, the shadow was beginning to resemble a crocodile more and more. Was this even a person? Stop! Please, stop! The figure was now fully visible, and was indeed a person, I think. He grabbed Nana by the head, then turned and began dragging her into that horrid room. She was clearly nearing death. As I took everything she had to scream in protest, her voice was getting weaker and her breathing less pronounced. I couldn't even imagine how painful it must be to have one's severed body slowly drag across the floor, exposed side down. It would be bad enough just having my head held in that massive, filthy grip. No, grip isn't the right word. It really was more like a bite. God, no, no. Save me, please, Mayu. Gasp, wheeze. No. Ah, ah. Stop, please. I don't want to die. Don't kill me. These were panic, primal screams of a person's last moments on Earth. It's a sound no one should ever have to hear, much less produce. And once you hear it, it's the kind of thing you'll be hearing again for the rest of your life. Nothing can ever wipe it from your memory. It stays with you. Da-da-da. I sat there dumbfounded, so disturbed that I could barely breathe, and watched the slow slither of Nana's body as she disappeared into the unknown. It only took a few seconds for her to vanish into blackness, but those were the longest few seconds of my life. And once she was gone, only a wide swath of blood remained tracing her path down the hall and across that hellish threshold. No, 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 no. I, I, I have to go save her. No, it's already too late, girl. You have a lot of time to try something and you fucked up. Now, not now. Ooh, she's still alive. Help! Help! My! Ooh, that is even worse. Nana! Gathering all my courage and stupidity, I ran at full speed toward the black void. I found no room to enter. Beyond the door was nothing more than a solid wall.
嘘でしょ
What? No. Where is she? Where was she? Where was she taken? Mayu! It was just as Shinosaki had said. Right before my eyes, a human being was pulled into a space that simply no longer existed, pulled out of reality. The multiverse? Spider-Man? And yet, I could still hear her. No!
怖くなった私は
I can't
弾
even
かれるよう
describe
に
how
して
frightened
そ
I
の場を
was.
逃げ出した
All I could do was scream and take off running away from there. Anywhere else was preferable. Pant, 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 pant.
私なんでこっち
Why
に
am I
走ってる
going
の
this way?
走る向き
Nana
が逆
isn't
でし
this
ょ
way.
ナナちゃんは
She's behind
後
me.
ろにいるのに
I need to go back. Van Wees, Guff.
助けなきゃ
I need to save her. I need to save Nana. But I'm just getting farther and farther away from her. Gus, Wees. No, I can't. I just can't. It's just not possible. The nurse hall? Pant, pant. Pant, pant, splutter, cough, pant.
ごめん
I'm sorry.
ナナちゃん
I'm so sorry.
私
Nana,
何にも
I couldn't do anything
できなかった
to save you.
岸沼くんたちに
What do I say to Kishinuma and Shinosaki? That she was grabbed by a zombie dude with a hammer, and I had to run for my life. There was nothing else to do. Oh, she fucked.
さっきまで一緒に話してたナナちゃん
We
が
were just talking
こ
with
んな
her,
ことに
and now look what's
足
happened.
が
Her legs were
技の
torn
形
right
が
off,
切れてしまっ
right
て
along the lines of those bruises.
技
Wait, the bruises?
ナナちゃん
Nana
あの
was
技のところ
slid up in the exact spots where she had those markings.
私のお
And
腹
I
の
have
技は
markings just like that on my
ない
stomach.
よね
But that doesn't mean anything,
そうだ
right?
よ
It's just coincidence, right? You.
嫌だ私
What
こん
is
な
wrong
時
with
まで
me?
自分
Worrying
の
about
心配
myself at a time like this.
だけど
But I can't help it. I opened my compact mirror and hesitantly brought it down to my abdomen, lifting my shirt and loosening my skirt a bit to get a better look. You can just look down! Why do you need a fucking mirror? Oh, God. No. Now it's purple? Yep. I didn't have to look very hard. The color of the bruise on my abdomen had darkened significantly. It was far more pronounced now, practically pulsating in purplish red. It looked more like some kind of demented crest that had surfaced from deep inside my body.
嘘
No, no,
色が濃くなって
it's darker,
なんかはっき
more
りしてき
clearly
て
outlined, and it looks bigger now
前
too.
よりも広がってきて何
What
これ
is this?
なんで
Why is it here?
ただ
It's
の
just
技
a
だよ
bruise, right? I'm sure it'll
たら
go
すぐに
away
消えて
on its own over time if I leave it be. I just kept telling myself that it will go away on its own. It was nothing, and I was starting to believe it. Feeling somewhat placated, I lifted the mirror up and prepared to shut it. Then put it away when I caught a quick glimpse of my face. I saw fear, I saw sadness, I saw defeat, but I also saw something else. Hope? Huh? No! At first, I doubted my eyes, but I wasn't seeing things, nor was it as much on the mirror. It was another discolored bruise, just like the one on my abdomen. It was nowhere near as dark, but it was definitely there, and given enough time, it would probably get a lot darker. Why? Why?
こんなの
When did I get
いつ
this?
の間に違う何か
Maybe
汚れ
it's
がくっ
just
つい
dirty.
てるだけだよ
Maybe I just need to wipe it
こ
off.
んなのちょっとこすればすぐに
I tried split shining, spit shining it away with my finger, but all that did was make it wet. And each time I pressed down on it, the surrounding skin would turn white, creating greater contrast and making it stand out more. It wasn't going away. It wasn't going away. And if it just kept darkening, I might wind up like Nana. No, please. No. No. Torn apart by the seams. No.
鈴本どうかしたのか
Susumoto, what's wrong? Everything is going to
なん
shit.
か声聞こえたから気になって
I thought I heard you
小
scream.
笠原はまだ見つ
Not
かんねえ
lucky
の
in
か
finding Ogasawara?
心配ね今からみんなで
I
探
don't
す
like that at all. We'll help you
Susumoto-san?
search. Susumoto?
ダメ来ちゃダメ
Stay back! Why? I took a step away from them, despite myself.
どうしたんだよ
What's going on? Please, just stay back. Nothing's going on. I swear.
何かあったの
Did
その
something
鏡に
happen?
何か
Did you see something in your compact?
何も映ってない
It's nothing. I didn't see anything.
私
I'm fine. I'm fine. Nope. I couldn't let them see me like that. I didn't want them to see that hideous bruise.
おい鈴本
Wait, Susumoto.
鈴本さん
Susumoto. Going to the nurse room. Pant pant.
どうしよ
What do I do?
うどうしよ
What do I do?
うまた逃げてる私
I'm running again.
でも
But where?
もうどこへ
Where am I going? Pan Pan,
あざを
I have
を
to
消さなきゃ
get
これを
rid of this. If I don't,
消さないと
if I can't, then
ナナちゃんみたいに
I won't up like Nana.
早く
Pan Pan,
早く
I
消
have
さ
to
ない
hurry. If I have to find some way of making this go away. Oh, Mayu, you just went straight for it. Ah. I had some concealer in my makeup bag. Maybe I could hide it.
これなら
There. There we go.
ないよね
Hey, can't see it at all now. I can see a little bit.
あんなあざ
All I have to do is get some
目を覚
sleep,
ましたら
and
治
when
っ
I
てる
wake up, that bruise will be long gone. I know it will. Oh my. Yeah, I was getting all worked up over nothing. It was just a little mark on my face after all. Probably just a result of all the stress I've been feeling here. Once things calm down, it will go away for sure. Oh, you're leaving me here? Game, evil, game. Wow, this chapter has been long. This chapter has been very, very long. So there is nothing to check except this. Welcome back. Ooh, fuck. Ooh, fuck. Oh, this is going to be bad. So it's gonna happen after just when I leave this room. Yep. Bye, Mayu. Huh?
私
I don't
ドア閉めた
remember
っけ
closing the door. It wouldn't open. And it wasn't like it was locked. Rather, it felt almost like as if someone were holding it close with superhuman strength. Mm-hmm. Suddenly, I realized why. The door was wrapped multiple times over with thin black threads. How had I not noticed this a moment ago? Because he was not there. What the?
髪の毛
Is this human hair? No, it's human pubic hair. It look up, I looked a bit more closely and concluded without question that was exactly what it was. Pubic hair. I felt an unpleasant heat radiating all along my back muscles, across my entire spine. I was being watched. There was some sort of moist, lukewarm presence in the room with me, and slowly but surely I could sense it moving. Who? Who's
誰かいる
there? Who's
私の後ろ
behind me? Oh, you're fucked. I was too scared to look around.
保健室が
This room. It was a little girl wearing a red dress, probably a first or second grader. Her skin was as pale as pottery, contrasting with her lacquer, ah, lacquer-like hair, and she looked somehow familiar.
この子
Oh,
新聞に載って
this is
た
the girl
殺人事件
from
の
the
生
newspaper
存者
who survived the murders.
篠崎
Sachiko
幸子
Shinosaki.
嘘でしょ
But that can't be right.
あれ30年以上
That
前よ
happened over 30 years ago.
保健室が
This
まだ
room
殺
is
風景
so
なの
lifeless.
そうだ
I
人
know.
体解剖
I know
所
what it needs.
人
A
体
human
解剖
autopsy
所が
bottle.
欲しい
I want to dissect a human. What? Pica el pollo. Ah, ah.
お姉ちゃん
Have you
また
come
遊
to
べるね
play with us again? Oh, fuck. No! Please! No! And she did. Something was dripping onto the back of my hand. Are these tears? That's what I thought at first, anyway. If I started to cry, I wasn't aware. But considering what I was going through, it wouldn't have been surprising in any way. I wonder just how much I cried since getting sealed up in this godforsaken place. Probably more than than I've ever cried before in my entire life. But these weren't tears, were they? It was blood. Was it blood then? Did these children do something to me? No, it was bathwater. Sure enough, I reached up and touched my face, and my finger came in contact with something sticky. Something sticky and red. Ah! What?
何したの
What did you do to me?
何も
We didn't do anything. Sachiko's answer was cold and disinterested, and came accompanied with a crooked, wry smile. She was just a child, yet one glance from her made every hair on my body stand on end.
鏡で見てみたらどう
How about you take a
少し
look
だ
in the
け待って
mirror?
てあげる
We'll wait, just for a little bit, though. Sachiko's face somehow made me feel as if there might be two sides of her, one gentle and one not. No, it's just one side, evil. Pure evil. But regardless of which I was dealing with here, I wasn't about to go against her recommendation. I was legitimately curious myself. So I took out my compact, opened it, and... Ah, why? No, no, please. The bruise I'd concealed with makeup had sprung back to the surface once again, though it could hardly be called a bruise anymore. My skin had literally split open from inside, and blood was beginning to seep out through the pinkish fissure, bead by bead. No, no, this can't be happening. It can't be. No.
違わないお前
It's
だよ
happening. That's all you.
抗わなければ一
If you
瞬で行けた
hadn't
の
fought
に
it,
ね
you might have been able to die
お
quickly.
前はそのお
But
腹
you
の
are
亀裂の
going
通
to
り
die.
知
You
っ
are
て死
going
ぬの
to
はもう
be
決ま
turned
っているん
open
だ
along those tracks on your belly. The bruise along my stomach and abdomen had followed suit, splitting open and dripping dark red blood everywhere. Oh my god. At this point, I completely lost any ability to think or reason. I was a goner, and I knew it.
壁にぶつかって一瞬で死ぬより
What's
ももっ
worse
と
than
辛
dying in an
い
instant
ゆっ
by
くりと
getting
した
smashed
切り方
against the
で死
wall?
になさい
Getting slowly, carefully torn apart. That's what. Oh my god. I kind of prefer the splat. Let's play. Come on, let's play.
人体解剖標本の作
Time to begin the autopsy, everyone. No, please. Stay away. Stay away. Yeah, I was a goner. I couldn't fight it. Somewhere deep in the pit of my soul, I knew there was no way out. This unimaginably cruel fate was predestined. I couldn't escape. Oh, sure, I tried to run. I squirmed and resisted with every last bit of strength I had, but fate had me by the ankle, and it wasn't about to let go. If only I could force myself to lose consciousness, maybe I could avoid the unbearable agony that I knew was coming. But sadly, I wasn't that strong-willed. I could feel the hands of children all over my body coming from virtually every direction, and they were really digging. He's grabbing a boob. And he's digging it. It hurts, I bet. It hurts. It hurts. Oh my god. No, I'm dying. Save me. She,
しげに
she.
来
You
な
dear
い来
she
な
will be
い
coming
しげ
to
になん
your
て
rescue.
来やしないんだよ
No chance. No hope. Oh, this game has a way to make me to get me squirm. Gas whistle. I was seized with a pain unlike anything I've ever imagined possible before. I couldn't talk, I couldn't move, couldn't even think. I felt like my head was going to explode under the pressure of the millions of nerves, all telling me, all telling my brain just how much every part of my body hurt. And it didn't stop. Every moment it grew worse and worse. Then I began to drift away.
ひどい匂い
What an awful
その辺
sting.
の廊下にでも
Let's
飾ってお
decorate the
こうか
wall,
この標
or
本
maybe the hallway outside with our new autopsy model.
学校がどんどん賑やかになってい
This
く
school
な
is getting livelier all the time. Oh, this fucking evil kid. Sachiko's voice sounded like he was far in the distance. It was then that I realized the agony I'd been feeling had changed. It was no longer pain, but chill. It didn't hurt anymore. It was just cold. So cold that I couldn't even feel my body.
寒い
So cold.
ものすごく寒いよ
So very, very
し
cold.
げに
Shig,
も
I can't
う
even
指一
move
本
a
動かない
finger anymore.
私が死んで
But even if I'm
惨
dead,
めな死体にな
and
って
even
も
if my body
嫌い
is
に
an
ならないでくれ
unsightly mess, I hope you won't think poorly of me. You would be an asshole if he does.
しげに
Because Shig,
しげにのこと
I loathe you. My final wish is that she be the one to find my body and take a lot of pictures with his cell phone. As long as not too revolting to look at anyway. I want him to think I'm pretty. I miss him. Chic, bro. What's my other endings? What's my other endings? Huh? I'm confused. No. I am confused. I am confused. Huh? Huh? How do I get these two? I mean, they go in order, right? Then how do I get this? Okay, that was weird. I have no idea. Anyway. Alright. I guess let's start the next episode. I have no idea how to proc the other two endings. Is there something needed? I had no options to do anything. So I wonder, what could I have done to change it? Alright. Chapter 3, I guess. Satoshi.
天神5番
Let's
地の
see. Tenjin 5.
これ23
Is that
だ
a
な
23
それとも
or
33か
is it 33?
ま
How
った
do you
く
confuse 23 with
山崎
33?
先生の字は読みづらいな
Mr. Yamasaki's handwriting is atrocious. Oh, we're going full happy now? Let me take this off because I'm getting hot. This really wasn't my day. I knocked over my alarm clock this morning, and of course, it stopped working. The very last pork sandwich sold out right before my eyes during lunch, and I was roped into a favor when I happened upon my homeroom teacher, Mr. Yamasaki, long after the school day had ended. So now, like it or not, I was on my way to deliver some notes to Miss Yue, our homeroom TA, who was out sick with a cold.
後でゆかに謝らないと
That's
な
how AG starts. I have to make sure I apologize to Yuka later.
今日は早く帰って
I know how
ゆかの買い物
disappointed
に付き合
she'll
って
be
やる予定
that
だっ
I'm
たし
missing our shopping date.
天神5番地
Tenjin
23の
523
11
number 11 found
こ
it.
こかこれが6番地
As long as this
33の
doesn't
77
actually
とかじゃ
read
なければ
633, number 77 anyway. True. I stop and compare the memo in my hand with the apartment building in front of me. It was horrible. It was 2 stories tall and looked a little on the shabby side. Probably about 20 years old. Didn't seem very solid, nor was it particularly stylish or chic. It was completely unremarkable structure in every way.
ここの207号室
Apartment 207, or is that 201? Or 307 or 301, apparently. I was really getting fed up with this handwriting, and from a teacher, no less. In any case, it seems certain the apartment was on the 2nd floor, so I thought I trucked up the startling narrow steep stairs. The metal staircase was thoroughly blotched with patches of rust. Why would someone live in such a rundown apartment building? Because they're a teacher and they don't get paid that much.
先生の給料って
Are
もしか
teachers'
してすごく
salaries
安かったりするのか
really that low? I felt a little sorry for her, but in a way, this place kind of fit her personality. What? Rusted and crappy? With that thought in mind, I turned my attention towards apartment 201.
こ
Here,
こが201号室か
here we are. 201. Yeah, this doesn't look like Miss Jew's place. The door plate for the room nearest the stair had a name I didn't recognize scribbled on
って
it.
ことは
Guess that means we try door number 2. Passing room 201, I continued down the narrow walkway toward the end. Wandering alone around an apartment building I've never been before made me feel kind of nervous. It wasn't like I was doing anything wrong, but my back still tensed up as I maneuver around pile-ups and strollers, plastic toys, and bundles of newspapers. And then, finally, I arrive at the last door.
ここだ。
Bingo! This was it. I breathed a sigh of relief. The door plate for apartment 207 read Shishido. For an adult's handwriting especially, the letters were rounded all overly cutesy. This was Miss Jury's place, all right.
なんだろうこれ。
What's this? I leaned in to read something written in small script on the corner of the door plate. No students allowed.
愛病注意。
Beware of cat. The cat? Why the cat? Is that evil?
ってえ
Shouldn't that be
偏見注
beware
意
of
じゃな
dog?
くて
Chihuahua? Fucking rat.
ゆい先生ら
That's
しいや。
Miss Chewy for sure. For you. So how exactly does one beware of a house cat? Is it even possible for a house cat to be threatening? Yes. At any rate, I confirmed beyond a shadow of a doubt that this was Miss Chewy's place. So my errand was nearing its
そ
end.
れにしても山崎先生
What
は
was
ひどいよ
Mr.
な。
Yamasaki thinking anyway?
風邪ひいたクラスメートに
I
プリント持っ
understand
ていくなら
taking
わかるけど
handouts to sick classmates, but
風邪ひいた副担の
delivering
先
class
生のう
notes
ち
to
に
the home
授業のノート
to
を
the home
届け
of
ろ。
an absent teacher?
うん絶対にお
That
か
just
しい。
seems weird. This isn't
間違い
something
な
a
くこれ
student
担
should
任
be
の仕
doing,
事だよ。
unless you're one of those kind of animus. Even the edgy ones or the H ones? He said he was busy with meetings, though, and really needed one of his students to help him out. But was it really okay to entrust a school student with confidential class notes? I mean, if it's not yours.
これ生
Could
徒が
it
読ん
be
だまず
kind
い
of
ノ
a
ートなんじゃないの
problem
か
if I were to read these? You could. My mind kept drifting from the one question to another, and I became acutely aware of the inherent value in these notes I held in my bag. You could have done this in the way, not when you're in front of the door. But tempting as it was, I just couldn't bring myself to look at them. Mr. Yamasaki put his faith in me, after all. That's his fault. And I was stronger than that. I couldn't let this get the best of me. But if my teacher opens the door, my sexy teacher opens the door, and she's on a nightgown, I'm going in. At any rate, I was here. I should have just been able to drop off the notes and be on my way. Putting all my doubts and misgivings aside, I rang the doorbell. And then I waited, and waited, and waited some more, but there was no answer.
あれ俺呼び鈴を
It
したよ
did
ね。
ring, didn't it?
ゆい先生
Miss Yui. I rang the bell again, and so tried calling out. But there was still no response.
どうしよう。寝てんの
What
か
should
な
I do? Maybe she's sleeping.
起こしちゃ悪いけど。
I don't want to
でも
wake
心
her,
配だしな。
but I am a little concerned. Also, you can just slide the notes inside the mail crate or slot or whatever. When we heard that Miss Juice was staying home sick today, we were all pretty disappointed. That's why part of me was actually a little happy that I was asked to run this over to her. I figured I'll be able to check in, see how she was doing, and let everyone at school know that she was feeling
け
better.
ど会えないっていうの
Never
は想
occurred to
定
me
外だった
that
な。
I might not even been able to see her though.
ゆい先生
Miss
ゆい
Yuri,
先生
Miss Yuri, get some clothes on and open the door.
反応なしか。
Nothing? Huh? さ
ゆい
Missouri?
先生
Hello.
すみません
She was probably sleeping or out at the doctor's or something. But what if she were hurt? I tried opening the mail slot and peeking in. I thought maybe I could get a glimpse of the room inside, of course. Yes, the room.
ゆい先生
Usually, I felt kind of wrong peeking into someone's house without their permission, but I was legitimately worried about Miss Yui's health. Sure. So my conscience was clear on this one. Evil cat.
猫
Oh, the cat. A well-groomed cat was facing the door and staring back at me. With his head tilted slightly to the side, it let out an adorable meow. This must be the cat I was instructed to beware. And since Miss Yui was always going on and on about her little buddy, I was pretty sure I remember his name.
この子が噂の
You're
モレ
Moret.
じゃなくて
Moret, right?
確か
Or no, Monet.
モネ
Monet, I think.
そうだモネちゃん
Yeah,
だ
Monet-chan.
綺
What a
麗な
pretty
猫だ
kitty
な
you are. Miss Yui talked about her cat a lot in class, so pretty much the whole school had heard of him. She even had some tins of cat food hidden on a shelf in the classroom. Probably because she'd bought too much and had no room for them in her apartment. Here,
モ
kitty,
ネ
kitty,
モネ
Monet,
先
Monet,
生はいるか
is Miss Yui home?
先生がいるんだったら
If she's home,
起こして
would
き
you
て
mind
ほしいん
waking
だ
her up for me?
モネ頼むよ
That's a good kitty.
やっぱり無理か
Yeah,
そりゃ
didn't
そうだよ
think
な
that would work. My shoulders sank. I felt defeated. What the hell was I doing? Indeed. I closed the maze slot and stood back. I stood back up.
弱ったな
Damn,
ゆい先生
I sure hope
どう
Miss
したん
Yu
だろう
is alright.
どっか外出中と
She's
か
probably just out right now or something,
開いてたりしないかな
which would mean the door's locked, I'm sure. Lost in this speculation, I placed my hand on the doorknob, and with a quick twist, I turned it and pushed on the door, opening it easily.
え
Huh?
鍵かかってないのか
It wasn't locked?
うわいけね
Crap, that's not good.
モネが出たら大変だ
I can't let Monet get out. Yeah, sorry.
お前のご主人様は不用心
Your
だな
master is pretty careless, huh?
鍵もかけ
Leaving
て
the
ない
door
なんて
unlocked like that. Monet's whiskers twitched as I called out to him from the entranceway.
なんだ
What's that?
その通りだにゃって
You say? What's that you say? She is
モネもやっぱり
You
そう
and I are
思う
on
か
the same page, Monet. Here I was talking to a cat. Was this what I've become?
どうしよ
What should I do? I was feeling pretty uneasy. Not only I peeped into someone's home, I walked in without a second thought. Moreover, this was where Miss Yui lived, alone. In other words, a woman's apartment. No matter how many times I reminded myself that I was here on an errand, I couldn't help feeling that I'd not only crossed the line, but leap over it.
うゆい先生
Miss Yui, I tried calling her name one last time, but as expected, there was no answer.
本当に
So,
どうしようかな
what now? Full in now. Go. I was trying hard to avoid not being too noisy, but my eyes inevitably began surveying the room. The apartment entrance led out immediately into the kitchen, and beyond that, there was a sliding door to some other room. Yeah, sliding door to the other room. I could see light through the gaps. I strained my ears, but there was nothing to hear, no signs of life whatsoever. Miss Yui really must have been out. One more time, I tried calling out to her one more time, just to put my concerns at ease. I felt like I'd seem even more suspicious if I stayed silent.
ゆい先生、持田です。
It's Mochida. Still nothing. Maybe she was asleep on the other side of that door.
確かめてみ
Let's just
Oh,
have
yeah,
a
yeah,
little
yeah.
look-see. Then wait. Shaking my head fiercely, I cast out that sudden impulse. That was a terrible idea, pure and simple. Entering the apartment unannounced was bad enough, but walking all the way in, opening that sliding door, and peeking inside, that was just too much.
っていうか、
Oh, just do it, man.
このタイミングでゆい
And
先生が外から帰ってきたり
if
したら、
Miss Yui happened to come home and
Get
find me
go.
standing here, I'll be in pretty hot water, huh?
じゃな
Just
く
go
て
in.
だいぶまず
Oh,
い。
scratch that. I'll be in plentiful, dense, scalding water. Monet mewed, as if in agreement. Panicking, I once again surveyed my surroundings. I almost felt like there were eyes on me, staring with disdain. But of course, nobody was there. What was that sound? Huh?
そうだ。
Oh, right.
書き置きを残してい
I
けばいいん
can't
じゃないか
just leave a note. Thank you. Wondering why I didn't think of it sooner, because boner. I dug into my bag for some paper and pen.
山崎先生から頼まれたの
Mr. Yamasaki asked me to
書いて
go
おけばいい
by.
んだよな。
That should be enough, right?
俺のノートでいいや。
I'll just use some notebook paper. You can say, "Hello, I hope you are right. I'm Mochida. Mr. Yamasaki asked me to come here and give this to you." At least explain something.
ゆい先生
Let's see. Miss Yui. Crouching in the doorway, I ran my pen across the page. I brought class notes at Mr. Yamasaki's behest. Everyone has been worried about you. Sorry about barging into your apartment.
あと
Please don't forget to lock your
鍵
door
はか
from
けた
now
方
on. Huh? As I was writing the note, I sensed a presence in front of me. Until just a moment ago, this house had no signs of human life in it, but now I could feel someone standing directly ahead. Standing and looking down at me, almost naked. Fidgeting nervously, I put down my pen, raised my head slowly. I saw a white, slender ankle. Gasp. Hello? Shocked, I shot my head up, and there, standing before me, was Miss Yui. Hello? I think your pants are about to come off, too. Uh-huh.
うん
先生
Miss Yui.
うん
By the way, I've been cold. I've been sick with cold. A lot of times. I have never looked this pathetic or useless. She was looking right at me, but she seemed decidedly out of sorts. Her hair looked disheveled, her gaze was unsteady, and her pajamas were completely disarray. Better for you, right? She was like a completely different person from the usual Kempt educator we'd come to know and love.
ゆい先生、俺
Ah,
勝手に
here.
入っちゃって。
I'm sorry to have entered your apartment without permission. Here. I stood up frantically and held up the note I've been writing. But huh, Miss Yui was just standing there, stupefied, with a completely vacant expression on her face.
先生
It's your opportunity. She's not gonna remember. Miss Yui, I called out to her as gently as I could. But she was really dazed. She seemed almost like a ghost.
先生
Miss Yui,
どうしちゃったんだよ
what happened to you? I had a sudden uneasy feeling, worried. I walked up to Miss Yui, grabbed her shoulders, and tried to snap her out of it by shaking her. But instead, cough,
う
cough,
わ
blech. This just seemed to make her cough. Holy shit. She's not alive anymore.
先生
Hey, Miss Yui. These were wet, productive coughs, and spit was shooting out Miss Yui's mouth with each one. I frantically tried to shield my face from the spray, but my reaction time was just wasn't quick enough.
も
Ugh. I put my hand on her cheek, and I found it thick with a slimy film of saliva. Oh, she's a complete mess. You
う
sound
大丈
like
夫
a squeaky door.
ゆい先生
Are you okay, Miss Yui? It does sound like a squeaky door. Miss Yui hobbled back a little, then fell to her knees with a thud. She had completely sprawled out in the hallway, moaning and groaning the whole time.
先生
Miss Yui, wiping the spatterings from my own face, I leaned over and took a better look at hers. It was bright red. Strained breathing, a stuffy nose, and a visibly high fever on top of it all. She was sick as could be.
寒
I'm cold.
寒いの
Get
でも
naked and hug
汗
me.
かいてるよ
Cold? But you're dripping with sweat.
寒い
It's cold. I thought maybe her sweat had cooled her down, but then realized her disheveled pajamas certainly weren't doing her any favors. With her pounding a mile a minute and face red as a traffic light, I set about buttoning her up. Yes.
ゆい先生
Injury,
俺
you
のことわかる
know who this
持田だ
is,
よ
right? It's Mochida. You don't want her to recognize you right now. Huh?
寒いならちゃんと布団で
If
寝な
you're
いと
cold, you need to sleep under your
出ない
covers.
と治るのに治ら
Otherwise,
ないって
you won't get any better. She absent-mindedly extended her shaking arms like a zombie, slowly reopened her eyes and looked up at me. It was the gaze of a severely fevered mind.
ゆい先生、
Miss Yui, huh?
司くん
Tsukasa?
え
Ooh.
う
Ooh.
わ
Ooh.
司くん
Tsukasa! Tsukasa!
え
Miss Yui was clinging to me tightly. I see a crack. Here. I couldn't move. I was frozen in shock. She began to weep.
来てくれたの
You've come for me, Tsukasa.
つかさ
Huh? Who's Tsukasa?
ね
What a lovely
嬉しい
surprise.
よかっ
I'm so glad you're here. Former boyfriend, probably?
先生待って人違いだよ
Wait, you got the wrong person. She seemed like I wasn't getting to her at all. And the sensation of her chest as she held me was making it virtually impossible to fight her grip. I was utterly powerless against this opponent. Mm-mm. I never realized it before how soft a woman's chest really was. Boink boink. God, what am I that weak-wielded? I had to remind myself that Miss Yui had me confused with someone else. Mustering all the strength I could, I gripped her arms and tried to pry them off of me. But she was a lot stronger than I anticipated, and I wasn't trying enough. It wouldn't let me get away.
怖かったよ
I was so scared, Tsukasa.
怖かっ
I was so scared.
怖かった
Scared?
たまさか来てくれるなんて
I never thought you'd actually come.
うわ
Bluster yelped. Point point. As she squeezed me tightly, I felt as thought my upper body might collapse under the pressure of her softest sports. The bonbons. I was blushing uncontrollably.
ゆい先生ちょっと離れて
Please, let me go. No, I won't.
先生ってば
Squish, squish. Come on, Miss Yui. I struggled to wiggle free, but Miss Yui only grabbed me tighter. Our bodies were getting more and more intertwined. And every time I squirmed, Miss Yui would just pull me in even closer. So I wondered one thing. If they're that tight, right? And he's trying to move to get rid of it, of her, right? Doesn't the buttons this open? Wouldn't the bottoms, the bottoms of the pajamas just open? Because pajama bottoms are buttons. Pajama buttons are kind of flimsy, right? So, okay. Keep in mind.
司くん
Tsukasa.
うわ
Huh? What? As her chest rose and fell erratically, droplets of sweat slid down into her cleavage. I could feel the heat of her fever radiating off of her steadily encroaching face, as well as the shoulders I grabbed in an effort to push away.
そばにいて司くんお願い
Stay with me, Tsukasa, please.
だから人違い
I'm telling you, you've got the wrong person. Questions were swirling around in my head. Why was Miss Yui crying? And who was this Tsukasa person? But I was most concerned of the state of her pajamas, which had become even more disheveled during our struggle. I was right.
先生パジャマズボン
Miss Yui, your pajamas, your pants. They're falling off. Huh?
ずり落ちてるから
They're sliding down. What do you care?
司くん
Tsukasa, you're so warm.
ゆい先生ってば
Dude, the more you fight, the more the pajamas are going to slide. If you don't want the pajamas to slide, then take it like a man. Miss Yuri, please. Realizing that not a single word was getting through to her, I sighed resignedly. Thank you. I'd taken care of Yuka any number of times when she caught a cold and drawn a fever, but I don't recall ever getting this bad. Recalling it, okay. Mizui was usually calm, collected, and rational. Who will have her imagine that a fever could leave her so thoroughly discombobulated?
ゆい先生
Discombobulated.
ちょっと
Mizui, seriously,
もう
pull yourself together. I put more strength into my resistance, and finally, her arms relaxed just the tiniest bit. But her expression changed drastically. No, no, please.
先生
Huh? Miss Yui?
俺は持田
I'm
聡で
Satoshi
司って人
Moshida.
じゃ
This is not Su. Please, don't go, please. Miss Yui was acting like a spoiled child. Slipping out of the shoes I'd still be wearing, I again drew close to her sprawled out form. There was no way I could just leave her here like this.
後で気がついて
I sure hope
怪しまないで
none
く
of
れよ
this seems too sketchy after your fever breaks. It will. Mizui let out a lethargic groan, perhaps in response to my quiet murmurings. At my wit's end, I grabbed hold of her and did my best to carry her into the back room. Wow, these intros take a long time. Gently willing her over to her unfurled futon, I then carefully laid her down, making sure I didn't drop her in the process. Probably she wouldn't feel anything. Then there was the matter of rebuttoning those pesky pajamas again. I hastily pulled up her pajama bottoms and brushed away the stray hairs that were plastered to her brow with sweat. Done my best to avoid seeing anything I shouldn't, but I am a guy, so my heart was pounding the whole time. Miss Yui's pajamas were soaked through with sweat. She really might have been better off with a change of clothes altogether. Change her? But no, that would have been going way too far. Come on.
タ
I
オルとか
wish I could
何か
find
袋
a
でもあれ
towel
ば
or something so I could at least wipe some of that moisture away. No, you need to grab a bottle to have some bath water. You can sell it then. Noticing a convenience store bag carelessly tossed to the floor, I glanced inside.
なんだ冷却シート買ってきてあるじゃん
She already bought cold packs.
なんで使ってないんだか
Why wasn't she using them?
先
Jeez.
生
Yui,
やっとするけど
this might
我
be a
慢して
little
ね
cold, but bear with me, okay?
これでよしと
Alright. I think that'll help. I placed one of the compressors on her forehead and pulled the covers over her. Miss Yui appeared almost instantly relieved. She exhaled contentedly, and her breathing became more relaxed. Finally, she was asleep. Even in sleep, Miss Yui seemed to be suffering.
モネ
Oh, Monet,
なんだ
were you worried about your
先生が
master?
心配たい
I don't
な
blame
俺
you.
もここ
When
まで
Mr.
ひどいことに
Yamasaki
なっ
said
てる
she
とは
was
思
sick,
わなかった
I
よ
had no idea it would be this bad. Monet had coiled up on my legs without me noticing. I began absent-mindedly speaking to him. He mewed in response, and our conversation ended there, as my gaze was still fixed squarely on Miss Yui.
さて
So,
どうしようか
what do I do now? Miss
ゆ
Yui,
い先生 俺
are you
こ
okay
の
to
ま
be
ま帰
alone
っても
right
大
now?
丈夫
She wasn't in any condition to respond.
ゆ
But
ゆい先生
Miss Yui's hand had slipped out from under the futon and was gently grasping my pant leg.
あ
Hey! Her grip was much weaker than before, but I knew I'd probably regret it if I went home now. Miss Yui just seemed really lonely.
仕方ないな
Well, guess I'll settle in then. Without disturbing Miss Yui hold on me, I took a seat beside her. For the time being, I figured I'd watch over her and make sure her condition didn't worsen. Occasionally, Miss Yui's breathing will become ragged and she'd furrow her brow. She was in a pretty bad way.
辛そうだな
Poor thing. Wasn't there anything else I could do? I glanced quietly down the hallway. I noticed when I carried Miss Yui here that the kitchen near the entrance was perfectly neat and tidy. There wasn't any indication it had been used that day at all.
飯食ってるのかな
I wonder if she's eating anything. Mona's gaze shifted suddenly. I followed it and saw pet bowls laid out in the corner of the room. One dish was filled with the brim with water, and the other was piled with high, dry cat food.
なるほど
I see.
モネはちゃんと食べてるん
I
だ
see
な
someone's eating well around here, huh?
熱出してあんな状態になってても
Even deliriously,
お前のことは
delirious
ちゃん
with
と考
fever.
えてくれて
She's
るんだ
still
なでも
taking real good care of you.
さゆい先
But that's
生
not good.
ま
Miss
ず
Yui,
は自分の食事
you
の
should
心
be
配をし
thinking
よ
about
う
your
よ
own meals first. I shook my head at the whole situation, then glanced down at Bonnet, who was tilting his head as if trying to understand me. I broke into a weary smile. When I pulled out the coal packs, I did notice some cheap convenience store food in the bag as well. I guess that was going to be her food for the day. Not exactly the best stuff to eat when you're sick.
米とあと
There's
卵
rice
く
and
らいは
eggs
きっ
at
とあるよ
least.
卵がゆでも作ろ
Maybe I'll make egg porridge or something.
う先生
Miss
キッ
Yui,
チン借りるよ
can I borrow your kitchen?
うん
Wow. Her face was bright red, and her half-pained, half-contented noise provided me with no clear-cut answer to my
仕
question.
方ない
I don't
ゆい
think
先
I'm
生の
going
代わりに
to get much
モネ
out
に
of
許
her.
しをもらおう
How
かな
about you, Monet?
モネキ
Do
ッ
I
チン
have
を
your
借りていい
permission
か
to use the kitchen?
ありがと
Excellent.
う
Thank you. The scene is long. Monette cries, hope assuage my guilt over entering a woman's apartment and borrowing her kitchen. Not that I had any reason to feel guilty, I don't think anyway. I mean, circumstances were what they were. Still, I had this nagging sense that I should somehow felt bad about what I was doing.
ゆい先生
Excuse me,
ごめんな。
please, Miss Yui.
ちょっと
Going
離
to
れるよ
need to get up.
うん
One by one, I gently peeled off each one of the fingers latched onto my pant leg. The expression of on her face changed as I was doing so, from contented rest to mild annoyance. But there was nothing to indicate that she might wake up.
よし作る
Alright
か
then, let's see what we can do, shall we? As I stood up, Monette mewed happily and began tagging along at my heels. And Miss Yui, now resting by herself in the bedroom, let out a sudden sneeze. Do we start now? Oh fuck. Achoo. Eek!
ちょっとゆい
Come on, Yui.
かかったよ今くしゃみ
Gross. I just got sprayed.
ごめんごめん
Sorry.
なんだか
I got a real
ムズムズするの
tingle in my nose today for some reason.
まったくもう
Ah,
Tissue.
honestly.
ティッシュ
Tissues. Tissues. Where did I put them?
ああなければ私の使って
Oh,
せ
did
め
I
て
get
も
that
お詫
much on
び
you? Here, use one of mine. It's the least I can do.
やったじゃあ私使う
Wait, don't mind if I do.
私も
What?
持ってない
She
よ
was talking to me.
ティッシュちょうだい
May I have one too, please?
と
Let's see.
はい
Here we go.
サンキ
Thank
ュ
you.
ーあんたたちね
You
ティッ
guys
シュ
really
くらい
should
常備
keep
してくだ
extras
さい
with you,
よ
you know?
面目ない
Well, sorry.
まったく
Honestly. Hehe.
そ
So
れ
what
で
were what were we talking about again?
そうそう
Do you remember?
だからさ
We were talking
とう
about
とう3年
what
になっ
it's
ちゃった
like
よ
to
ねっ
be
て
seniors
話
now.
は
Yeah, I know,
あだ
right?
ねあと
Can
1
it
年
be
で卒業
really
か
can it really be just one more year before we graduate?
卒業もだけど私たち
While
それよ
graduation
り
is
もっと考
important, don't
えなく
forget
ちゃいけ
there's
ない
a
ことがあ
life
るじゃない
afterward to think about as well.
進路よ
Our careers. Whoop.
いや聞きたくない
No, I really don't want to think of that.
正直さ進路相
Well,
談何回
there's
受
a
けたって
reason
将
we've
来
been
のことなんか
subjected
はっ
to
きりし
all
ないっ
those
て
career
いうかさ
counseling sessions. And it's because our futures are just big question marks right now.
だよね
Not kidding.
どうするかな
What are we
ほん
going
と
to do with our lives? It's scary.
ゆいは
Any ideas, Yui?
もう進路とか決めてる
You have any plans for the
実
future?
はねもう決
Actually,
めてるん
I
だ
got it all figured out.
え
What?
なになに
Well,
ゆい何
I'll
に
leave
な
us
りたい
hanging
の
out. Off with it, girl. Giggle, giggle.
私は
Well,
ね私の名前はシシド
my
ゆい
name is Yui
17
Shishido.
歳
I'm
将来の夢
17,
は
and my
先生に
dream
なる
is
こ
to
と
be a teacher.
あまりよく考えずに人の
I
ことに
butt
首を
to
突
the
っ込んでは
lives
空
of
回ってること
others
が多い
without a
私
second
だけど
thought, and I spend most of my time doing nothing
で
important.
もそんな私でもきっと
But I
頑
believe
張れば夢が
that
叶う
even
って
someone
信
like
じてる
me can make her dreams come true with enough hard work. Kisaragi Academy 5 years ago. 5 years ago, so you're 22. Oh my god, you're 22. The cherry blossoms were in blood, and the rustling wind carried with it the soft warmth of the season. I was a high school senior now, and I was devoting myself to my studies in preparation for the day my dream could become reality. And that dream was to become an English teacher. My grades were on the fence for getting into the university I wanted though. So my best bet was to score a special recommendation from the academy. Yeah, that was a lucky break.
急に呼び出され
When
た
I
から
got
何
called
事
to
か
the
と思っ
office,
た
I had
よ
no clue it might it might be
あ
about.
る日の放課後、
After
私は
school one
職員
day,
室に呼び
I
出
was
された。
summoned to the teacher's staff room.
何かヘマをやったの
I
か
was
とか、
freaking out that
成
might
績
be
が志望校に
that
及ばない
maybe I
と
failed
か、
of my
そういう
grades
悪
were
いことを言われるんじゃない
failed
か
or my
って
grades
ビ
weren't
クビ
good
クしてた
enough
ん
for
だ
the
けど、
school I wanted to go to the school I wanted to go to or something terrible like
私の
that.
予想に反して
But
呼
it
び出
turned
され
out
た要件
my
は
fears
とて
were
もいい
all
も
for
のだった。
naught.
うちの学園からはライバ
You
ルが
have
い
no
なさそう
rival
だ
in
か
your
ら、
academy,
こ
they
のまま
say.
頑張れば推薦してやる
If
さ。
you keep working hard, we'll be happy to give you a recommendation. Man,
なんかやる気出てきちゃった。
was that
この
ever
調
a
子で
pick
頑
me
張ら
up?
ないとね。
I feel like I could take on the world now. I'm going to have to make sure I don't let this chance slip me by.
そ
So,
れにしてもゴミ
this
箱っ
trash
てどうして
can.
こんなに重
Why
たいんだろ
exactly
う。
is it so ridiculously heavy?
ゴミ捨て場まで持っていくのも一苦労
Carrying
だ
this
よ。
beast to the dumpster is going to be the death of me.
な
Hey,
突然声をかけられて
I
ゴミ
turn
箱
around,
を抱えたまま振り返
still,
る。
sorry,
それは
and
今
still
まで
holding the
話した
garbage
こと
can.
のない
The
男子
boys
生
belong
徒
to
だ。
a male
でも
to a male student I
見かけた
have
こと
never
なら
spoken
何度
with
もある。
before. I'd seen him around a lot though.
彼は7
His
組
name
の
was
国司君。
Tsukasa Mikuni from class 7.
そこ足元
Watch your step.
根っこが出てるか
There's a
ら気をつけな。
there's a root sticking out of the ground here, and it's pretty easy to trip on.
え
Huh?
あーちょっと
Hey,
そこ
what's the
笑うと
idea
こ
laughing at someone else's misfortune?
だって
It's
よ
funny. Well, it's just you have no panties.
もうそこ
It's
は
not
さ
funny.
大丈夫かとか
Shouldn't you
聞
be
いてくれ
asking
たって。
if I'm okay or something? I know you're okay.
悪い悪い
My bad, my bad.
あ、いいよ、そんな手が汚れるよ。
You don't have to help clean up. You don't have to help clean up. You'll get your hands dirty.
別にいいよそんくらい
Don't worry about
笑
it.
った詫びに手
It's
伝
the least I can do after laughing like
あ
that.
りがとう。
Thanks.
うんこれ
No
で
problem.
全部拾い終えたか
That should be everything, right? Yeah,
もう大丈夫。
looks like it.
じゃ行くぞ
Cool. Let's go then.
Oh.
Huh? I remember it well, even now. This was my first time talking with Tsukasa, and he left a strong first impression on me.
ごめん、重たいよね。
That's really kind of you. Isn't it heavy though?
別に
Not especially.
やっぱり自分
I
で
am the one assigned to take it. Maybe I should.
いいって
It's fine, really.
はい終了
There. Everything is in its
あり
place.
がとう。助かったよ。
Thank you so much. You were a huge help.
じゃあな
Get you around.
あ、ちょっと待って。
Hey, hold up.
あ
Huh?
お礼させてよ。
I feel like I should do something nice for you in return.
いい女の
Don't
こ
worry
れく
about
らい
it.
で
Your thanks is plenty.
いいから。ちょっと
Look.
待っててね。
Just wait here. Wait there a second, okay?
うん
友達が増えるというのは嬉しいし
Making a new friend is always great.
その
But
相
when
手
it
が
happens to be
三國
Tsukasa
司
Mikuni,
君というのも
it's all
嬉
the
しかった。
better. He'd
司君
be.
のことは
He'd kind of been
実
on
は
my mind for a
おい
while.
おいしょ
Here we go. Most of the times I'd seen Tsukasa before this were in the school courtyard. He spent a lot of time there sitting alone on a bench. Even after school or during summer vacation, if I happen to pass by, I will always see him there. And after this little encounter, we'd go on to make many fond memories together. Yet somehow, the image of Tsukasa that stands out most in my mind is of him seated alone on that courtyard bench.
はい、どうぞ。
For
コー
you.
ヒー牛乳でよかった
I
よ。
hope coffee all late is alright.
まあなんでもいいけど
Oh, sure, I guess.
Thank
Anything's
you.
fine, really.
これ
Thanks.
は私からのお礼なんだか
You
ら。
know, it's
黙って
customary
受
when
け取ってくれ
receiving
れ
a
ばいい
gift
の。
to quietly accept it without any offhanded remarks, especially, but not if it sucks.
義理がたいやつ
Well, aren't we a stickler for tradition? Hehe. We walked to the bench together, sat down, and began making small talk. That courtyard bench was a sort of mystical place. The leaves rustle over your head if you just and if you close your eyes and open your ears. It felt as though you were in the middle of some forest. And then, if you looked straight up, the sunlight poured in through the leaves, and you almost felt like you were in another world.
初めて座ったよ。
This is the
On a
first
bench.
time I've ever actually sat on one of these benches.
なかなかいいだろ
It's pretty nice, right?
素敵
It
な場所。
is. It's lovely.
だよな
Yeah, it really is.
だからなの。
Oh, so is that why?
え
こ
Huh?
の時間とか
Well,
昼
you
休
come
みとか
here an
よ
awful
く
lot,
ここにいるでしょ。
right? Like even after school and during summer vacation.
おう
I sure do.
この場所好きなんだね。
So you must really like this place then, huh?
まあね
Yeah, I guess I do.
そっか。
Well, then there we go. The leaves rustled and as a gentle breeze blew between us. We were both silent for a bit, but strangely didn't feel awkward or uncomfortable.
聞かないのか
So aren't you going to ask? Ask what?
いつも一人で何
Why
して
am
ん
I
の
always doing here by myself or something?
この場所が好き
You're
だ
always
か
here
ら
because you like
い
this
つも
spot, right?
ここにいるんだよ。
そうだけどさ
Oh yeah.
他に何か理由があった
Is
り
there
する
some
の？
other reason then?
ないよ
Not really.
じゃあ
So
聞く
what-
必要ないじゃない。
So what would be the point of me asking?
そうだけど
Well, you
ほ
got
ら
me
普
there.
通聞くだろ
But people
一人で
normally
そんな
ask
ん
me
つまら
if
なくないかと
it's
か
boring being
意味わ
here
か
by
んねえと
myself,
か
or tell me they don't get it, or say I'm a weirdo or something. All of those are true, but still doesn't matter if you like the place. Really? I don't know. I guess I just don't think of it
ここ
that
が
way.
好きなら一人
The
で
way I
いたっ
see it,
て
if
別
you
に
like it,
変じゃないよね。
if you like it here, then why not come here whenever you can?
お前
Guess that makes you the weirdo then.
いやそんな顔しなくても
Hey, don't make that
今のは
face.
俺的
Coming
褒め言
from
葉だ
me,
から
that's a compliment. Yeah,
え
kinda.
変
What?
わってるが褒め
Calling
言葉
someone a weirdo is supposed to be a compliment? For me, it is. A lot of people call me weirdo. I don't care. I take it as a praise. I really don't mind. Oh. People call me, you're weird. And I was like, thank you. And they were like, why are you thanking me? This is a compliment. But you're weird. I know I'm weird. What's the point?
そうそう
You bet it is.
なんか納得いか
I'm
ない
not
な。
sure to. I'm not sure I buy that.
もう
You're mean. The expression on Tsukasa's face was a dead giveaway that he really enjoyed talking to me. And I've always loved the feeling I get when I know my words help brighten someone's day. I must have been sporting one hell of a goofy smile at that moment.
本当はさ
Actually,
この
there's a
学校
place
で
at this
もっと
school
好き
I
な場
like
所があるんだ
even
よ
more than here.
どんなところ？
Huh? Where's that?
秘密
I'm not telling. The roof? What?
とっておきだからな
It's my special
っ
place.
てことは
What
そ
you mean?
こも超
It
素
must
敵な
be
場
a
所なんだよ
totally
ね。
awesome place, right?
あ
Yeah.
いいな。どこ？気に
I
なる
really
よ。
want to see it. Come on.
あ ダメ
No
そう
way.
簡単
I
に
can't
は教え
spill
な
the
い
beans that easy.
それに
Besides,
いつで
the
も見
view
れる
there
ってもんじゃないん
isn't
だ
nearly as
そこの景色
consistent.
司くんは笑いながら紙パックのジュースを
Laughing,
飲み干すと
Tsukasa finished
ベンチ
up
から立
his
ち上がっ
drink,
た
then grabbed
そして
me,
目の前にあった
grabbed
ゴ
the
ミ
now
箱を
empty
ギュッ
trash
と
can
掴み
he
私を迎え
carried to the dumpster for me.
コーヒーをおごってもらったしな
You treated me to coffee,
ついで
so
に
please
教室
allow
ま
me
で
to
運んでやる
take
よ
this up to the classroom for you.
いいの
What? Are you sure?
あ
You bet.
ありがとうあ私のクラス
Thanks.
はね
I'm in class.
4組だろ知ってるよ
Class 4, if I'm not mistaken.
シシドユイっつったら有
You're
名
the
だからな
famous Yui Shishido after all.
どうして
How did you?
今から先生みたいな女子がいる
You're
っ
that
て
girl who
12クラ
already
ス全部
looks
で有名だよ
like she could be a teacher. I don't think there's a student in any of our 12 classes who doesn't know your name. What?
それから私と司
From
く
then
んは
on, Tsukasa and I
何度か
met
中庭で
in
会って
that
は
courtyard
話
many
をした
times. We didn't really
校
talk
舎
in
の
the
中では
halls,
すれ違って
but
もほ
something
とんど
about that
話すことが
place
ないのに
spurred our
中
conversation.
庭では不思議と話が弾む
あまたお前コーヒー牛乳
Cafe all late again?
好きすぎだろコーヒー牛
Doesn't
乳
that get a little old?
そんなことないよ
Not really.
1日に最低
You
2本
drink
は
at
飲んでる
least
くせ
2 a
に
day, though, right?
なんで知ってるの
How'd you know that?
自販機でいつもそれ買ってるの
Seen it with my own eyes. There's a perfect view of the vending machine from here, after all. There
ほ
is?
らそっち見てみ
I mean, it's right there.
本当だ
Oh, wow, no kidding.
昼休みも放課
And
後も
apparently it's the only
いつも
vending
シシド
machine.
がコーヒー牛乳買ってるの
Doesn't matter if,
バッチリ見てたけど
if
ね
it's after school or summer break. Shishido buying cafe all late. All light. Late. It's like all faithful. It's like all faithful. You could set your watch by it.
そんなことを言ったら
Oh, then. I
私だ
guess
って
we're even,
司くん
since
が
I
ここの
always
ベ
see
ンチ
you
に座って
sitting on this bench.
いつも見てた
いや知ってるけど
What?
なんでまた言う
You're back on that again?
あと
Sure am. I guess I just find it interesting that we both took notice of each other's quirk habits.
なんだそれ
Huh, weirdo.
中庭での会話は
Our conversation in the courtyard were usually just silly.
教室で
It
友
was
達
like
と繰り
talking
広
to
げ
a
る会
good
話みたい
friend
に
in class.
あまり中身が
Shallow,
なくて
but
でもす
generally
ごく楽し
enjoyable.
くてこの場所夏でも
This
結構
fucking
涼しい
intro.
ね
It's always so cold here, even in summer.
夏とか言うな
Don't mention summer.
夏
うん
嫌い
Why? You don't like it?
夏期講習が目前に迫ってたら
Not with summer school right around the corner. That'd be enough to make anyone run for the hills.
ま
I
あ
guess
ね
so. But you're
私たち
seniors
3
now.
年生だもんね
But we're seniors now.
夏だ
It
からっ
comes
て
with
遊
the
んではいられ
territory,
ない
you
よ
know?
ね
The time for fun and games is
お
over.
前は随分と楽しそう
I
だ
don't
けど
know, you seem like you're still having a lot of fun to me.
私は夢
Well,
に近づい
I'm a
て
bit
る
of a
って
special
実感でき
case.
て嬉し
I'm
いよ
just happy because I feel like my dream might actually come true.
ふん
Oh.
私ね人に勉強
I
を教
just
えるのが好
enjoy
きなんだ
teaching things to people
頼られるのも好き
and having others depend on me.
なんで
Why is that?
お姉さんになった感
I
じ
guess
が
it
す
makes me
るか
feel
ら
like
か
a
な
big sister
ほ
or
ら
something.
私一人っ子だし
And since I'm only child, well, you know.
あ
So
あ
what?
うんまあ頑張れ
Okay,
ば
well, good luck with that then.
はすっごいどうでもなさそう
That was about as dismissive a comment as you can get.
だって人事だしな
Hey, not like I can do anything about it, you know.
そんなことを言いながらも
Despite his
司く
occasional
んはやっ
boring
ぱり優しかった
bu-
だって
boy-
私の夢に
boorishness,
笑ったりはしなかったか
I
ら
still felt that Tsukasa was a kind soul. If nothing else, he never actually laughed at my dream.
先生になりたいって夢を
In
話
a high
す
school
大抵の人は
crowd,
笑った
most
り
people
茶
don't
化した
take
り
you
で
very
あ
seriously
ま
when
り
you
真
say
剣に聞いてく
you're
れない
trying to become a teacher.
だけど司くんは
Tsukasa
一度も
just
笑わなか
wasn't
った
like
んだ
most people, I guess. My god, this intro. The season was quickly turning to autumn. Self. After the school day ended, the senior floor was always a lot more quiet than its underclassmen counterparts. Everyone was off studying hard at the library or with tutors. So one day, thinking no one else was around, I sat down in a lonely corner of a hallway. Initially, I grabbed my shoes and left the classroom, intending to head home, but along the way, I just started crying. I was overwhelmed. My sobs echoed from one end of the hallway to the other.
この日、私
That
は
day,
無事に志
I
望
have
校の
finally
推薦
received a
学に入れて
special
もらえることに
recommendation
なっ
to my top choice
た。
university.
嬉しくて仕方がなかっ
I
た
was
私
so
は
excited.
すぐに友
I
達に
just
報告
wanted
し
to
た。
tell someone,
けれど、
so I told my
いつも
friend
なら手
Tomoe,
放しで喜んで
but
く
her
れる
usual
その子が
supportive
ふと表情を
demeanor
曇らせ
took
た。
me on somewhat harsher edge.
私の前でそんな
You're
ことを言うん
rubbing
だ。
it in my face.
まだ
You
私
know
は
I'm still totally
夢も何
undecided
も決
about
ま
my
ってないの
future, right?
多分、私
My
はひどくショッ
expression
クを受
must
けた
have
顔に
changed
なっていたのだ
pretty
と
drastically. The
思う。
most I suddenly
巴は
widened and she
すぐ
quickly
にハッとしたように、
apologized.
だから私も笑って気に
So I
してないよっ
smiled
て
and told her I
そう
didn't
言ったの
care.
だけれど、
That's what I said anyway.
気にしてないわけがない。
But how couldn't I
巴の
care?
言葉と表情
The
が
most dismissive
鋭い
words
針のよ
struck
う
me
になっ
like a
て
dagger to my
私の
chest,
胸を突
obviously.
く。私、
So
なしだったのか
insensitive
な。
sometimes. No, you're not. I mean, you're not trying to rub it in nobody's face. You're trying to share something that happened to you. If the other person is having a bad day, it's not your fault. So technically, here is nobody's fault.
他の
I
みんな
wonder
も
if everyone else
同
feels
じ
the
こと
same about me.
思ってた。
Stops up. I kept wiping the tears from my eyes, only for new ones to take their place immediately. Why didn't I think of this sooner? So many people were still facing uncertain futures with no real goals in mind, and I was completely oblivious to it. I was the one with a dream, running around like like the cock of the wall, like the cock of the wall, and babbling about my success and aspirations. I wouldn't blame them if they hated me. So someone that insensitive to to the feelings of so many other people really become a teacher. You're not this is how a ruminating train of thoughts comes and just takes you to a wrong place. You just start with a single idea and just one single situation where you can prove that idea, and then you go long. And it's not really that. Did I ever even have what it takes to begin with? Yes.
シシド
Shishido, Tsukasa, please help me. Gasp.
声をかけられて振り
I
向く
quickly
と、
turned toward the
そこに
boys
は
that had
司くんが
called
立ってい
out
た。
to me and found Tsukasa standing
い
there.
つもは廊下であっても
I
言葉
never
を
said
交
a
わすこ
word
となんて
before
ない
when
のに、
passing
この
each
日
other
は
in the hall,
ごく自然
but
に
he
声を
spoke
か
to
けてく
me
れた。
that day with no reservations, as if we were all chums. You kinda are. Tsukasa,
すごい顔だぞ。
your face is a
ハンカチは
mess. Do you have a handkerchief?
持ってる。
Yeah. Well,
じゃあ
use it.
顔拭けよ。
Then wipe your face.
うん。
Okay.
司くんが戸惑っている空気が
Sukasa's concern and
ひしひしと
confusion
伝わっ
was
てきた。
clearly written on his
彼を
face.
困らせたくなかったから、
I didn't want to
私
cause
は
him
こ
any
ぼれ落ちてい
trouble
こうと
or
する
worry
涙を
him,
必死に
so
拭く。
I began frantically wiping my
何
eyes.
かあったのか
Did something happen?
何
Everything,
もないよ。
everything's fine.
何かあったから
You're
そんなに
crying
泣い
an
たんだ
awful
ろ
lot for someone who's got no problems.
これは
No,
その
it's just
友達とちょっと気
there
ま
was
ず
a
くなっ
little
ちゃって。
misunderstanding between a friend and
で
I,
もすぐに仲直りした
but
か
we
ら大
patch
丈
it
夫。
right,
これはさ、
patch it up
あ、
right
そう、
away. So
嬉し涙
it's
みたい
alright,
なもの
really.
だから。
These are, something like tears of happiness. Yeah, sure.
ふん
Tears of happiness are very different, or the face of tears of happiness is very different from the sad or sobbing tears.
嬉し涙って言
Yeah,
えばね、
see?
私
I just
推
found
薦
out
枠
that
に
I
入
got
れることに
that
なっ
recommend. I'm not sure if I did it out of respect for Tsukasa or just because I wanted to change the subject, but I caught myself on mid-sentence. I was doing it again. What was I thinking? Now even Tsukasa was going to hate me for being a braggart. Hell, I hated myself. It was the worst. Just the worst. See? That's a fucking train. It doesn't matter. But,
マジか
wow, really? He was happy for me? A bit taken aback, I nodded firmly.
やったじゃんかお
You
めで
did
と
it
う
then. Congrats.
うん
Yeah,
ありがとう
thanks.
お
And now she's crying again. And now those are our uh, happy tears.
ありが
Thank you. Those are relief tears.
だからなんで泣
So
くんだ
what's with the waterworks? So
まだ推薦枠が決まったってだけ
even with the
で
recommendation, you still have to take an entrance exam, right? Yeah.
嬉し泣きするほど喜ぶにはまだ
So
早いだろ
isn't it a little early to be crying tears of joy? Kind of realistic, but yes. Yeah, maybe
そ
so.
うだよねでも
I was just
そうやっ
really
て
happy that
お
you
う
めでとうって言っ
congratulated
て
me.
もらえたから
たく
Oh, come on now.
ごめんね
Sorry.
何が
For what?
泣いたりして
For crying like
わけわ
this
かんないよね
without even knowing why.
そう
You
思
know
ってんな
why.
ら早
If
く
you don't
泣けよ
know why you're doing it, then how about you hurry up and dry those eyes?
Mm.
Sure. I think I'm fine now anyway.
もう大丈夫だから
Did he die?
たく
I kind of remember some of this story. I swear. As I rubbed my swollen eyes, a smile broke through, and Tsukasa let out an exasperated sigh. Then, as if suddenly remembering something, his eyes lit up.
そうだシシド
Oh, hey,
ちょっと待ってろ
wait here a sec. It's gonna bring a coffee. Okay. Yeah, he is. Tsukasa ran into his classroom, quickly reappearing in the hall again just moments later. He was holding something.
お前にこれやるよ
I want to have this.
鉛筆
A pencil? So you can stab yourself with it? In his outstretched hand rested a short, stubby little pencil. Not the sort of thing you'd expect someone to go out of their way to lend you. It was pocketed here and there with small scratches, but it still seemed to be in a relatively decent shape considering how obviously well worn it was.
受験必勝鉛筆
A pencil for graduated guaranteed success. Okay.
受験必勝
Guaranteed success.
これ使うと試験に受かる
Use
ん
it
だ
on your test and you'll pass for sure.
本当に
What? Really? Oh my god.
ああ如月学園に受かるのは難しいって言われて
Yeah.
俺がこ
They
れ使っ
told
て
me
受かった
I'll
んだか
never
ら
pass the
間違いない
entrance exam for Kisaragi Academy, but, well, here I am. And I owe it all to this pencil. Yeah, because the pencil was the one with the brains to answer the questions in the exam, right?
じゃあこれ
So this is the same pencil you were using back when you took the high school application test. So I'm guessing you haven't used it since your 3 years of high school. You haven't used the fucking pencil because it's still the same one. Alright.
そう経験新たかな
Sure
鉛
is.
筆だぜ
It really jerked out a miracle.
霊言新たか
I assume you mean worked out a miracle. Yes, because jerked off a miracle. Yeah, that's what. No, it was Rick, right? I'm reading wrong now. Ooh. Right? Now that's a thing. Not that that's a thing either.
あそれだ
Yeah, that.
それじ
Anyway,
ゃ
I
あ
shall
れね
happily take up
あり
you
がとう
on your kind offer. Thanks. And how is he going to enter the university if he's going to?
言っとくけど
But
貸す
listen,
のは
I'm
推
only
薦入試
lending
ま
to
でだ
you
から
until
な
you finish your
一般
test.
入試の時は
Or I
俺が
have
使
to
うから
give you
返
have
して
to
もら
give
う
it back afterward, so I can use it for my entrance exam. Okay.
だから
And whatever you do,
絶対受かるよ
don't fail the exam. Right.
鉛筆を受け取り
I took the
笑顔で
pencil
続く
and nodded,
今度
smiling.
は
This
司くん
time,
も笑って
Tsukasa
くれ
returned
た
my smile.
人の気持ちまで勝手に
You are a
思い
really
込んで
unique
しま
person,
って
you know? You know that?
悲しみまで自分のものに
It's
し
hard
て
to believe how much you let other
お前
people's
みたいなのが
problems get to you.
先生になれたらいい
You'll
な
make an amazing teacher. What? Thank you! For a moment, I had no idea what he was talking about, but then he hit me. Tsukasa had somehow sussed out from our conversation that I was crying because I'd upset Tomoe. And he was turning that fact around to offer me encouragement.
頑張れよ
Now we know who's gonna be the psychologist. Good luck. Don't let it get to you.
頑張れって言葉は
I
辛
heard
い
you
時には
shouldn't
プレッ
wish
シャーになる
someone's
から言っ
luck
ちゃ
in
ダメっ
times
てよく聞く
of stress, as it just adds more pressure. That's why people tell actors to break a leg instead.
けれど私は
But I
この
didn't
優しい
care.
言葉が
The
大
war
好きだ
not,
った
I cherish his kind words.
私
Oh,
頑張るね
do my best, Tsukasa.
お
Glad to hear it.
この日から私は
That's when I
どんどん
really
司
started to
君
fall
に
for
惹かれて
him.
いった彼は全然そっけなくて
But it
ちっ
didn't
とも
seem
振り向
like
い
he
てなかった
noticed,
けれど
and there wasn't really any indicators that he felt the same way anyway. I can still clearly recall the events of that day, even now. It was October, the day before my entrance exam. The weather outside had been miserable since morning, and visibility was all but non existent. It would be a bad omen if I were to slip and fall on the day before the exam, so I decided I'd wear boots to school, just to be safe.
行ってきます
See ya later. Huh? When I opened the door, I was shocked to see a white haired old woman lying on the ground, soaked to the bone. I frantically rushed over to her side.
おばあさん大
Are
丈
you
夫ですか
okay? Stay with me, come on. Tell me what happened. Was it a hit and run? Kinda looks like. The road running by my house was narrow and mostly used by our neighbors. Only by our neighbors. But it's not like it was closed off to outside traffic or anything, so a hit and run wasn't out of the question. I looked over the old woman's body as best as I could. Fortunately, there were no signs of any serious injury. Doesn't seem like a car accident, at least. Young lady. Yes? You must not go to school today. What? You absolutely must not go. Huh? The old woman raised herself up slightly and spoke hoarsely. From the tone of her voice, she seemed terribly desperate.
あのだけ
But
ど
I have to.
今
This is
日
my
は
last
面
chance
接
to
の
practice
最後
for
の
a
練習があってね
college entrance interview. I had I didn't had any college interviews. Or practice at least. Didn't matter. No, just stay home. Don't go.
そういうわけにはい
I
かない
have
よ
to go.
面接は
The
私
interview
が一番
is the
苦手と
part
する
of
試
the
験だから
exam I'm worst at. You already know what you want to do. You already know the motivation why you want to do it. You just say that in the fucking interview and that's it.
それよりおばあちゃんどうしたの？お家の人
Please,
は？
tell me what's wrong. Where's your family? I killed them. Will you? Will I?
どうしても
Will you
行くと
go?
いうのか
No matter what? Then I'll have to slice your toes. In that case, please take this bathwater bottle. Not knowing what to say, I nodded apprehensively. As the old woman began digging through her pockets, she produced what it looked to be a crumpled scrap of paper. As she was digging around, I noticed that her breathing had become dangerously ragged, and began considering my options to assist her. Really, I should have gone back into the house and called my mom. And there was something about her that kept me glued to the spot. I sensed desperation hiding in that unbroken gaze.
これ
You must
受け
take
取りなされ
this.
何？
What is it?
お守りじゃ
A charm.
お守り？
A charm? The old woman clutched my wrist and forcefully pressed the scrap of paper into my palm. Tilting my head, I unfolded the scrap and looked carefully at it. Is she Miss Yui? Oh, my brain is starting to go places. Ooh. Did she got out being old from the school and she's trying to warn herself? Oh, my brain is going places. At first, I thought just being handed a piece of trash. What? But when I unfolded it all the way. I saw that it was actually a paper doll in the shape of a human being. And there was a name written on his torso. Yui Shishiro. Yes, my name. Written plain as day in easily legible brush
どう
strokes.
して私の名前？
Why is my name on it?
お守りだからじゃ
So it can protect you.
え？
Huh?
守る対象の
If
名
you
を
don't
書か
write the
ねば
name of the
身
person
代わ
you
りに
wish
は
to
ならん
protect,
だろう
the charm won't work. Crazy. This was all crazy. Didn't understand any of it. Save for one simple fact. This old woman was here specifically to give me this strange paper charm. As far as I was aware, we were total strangers to one another, but she clearly knew both my name and my address.
やだ。
No, no,
ご
huh?
め
I'm
んなさ
sorry.
い。せっかくだけど
I know you came a long way to
私
give
こ
me
れ
this,
いらないか
to
ら。
give this to me, but I don't want it. You fucking take it.
やっ
You don't want it. As I extended my arm to return the paper doll, I could sense her entire demeanor had changed. She raised her body up unsteadily from the wet asphalt. She is.
どうしてじゃ
Why not? Huh. Well,
わしが身を
I've nearly
削れて
killed
やっているの
myself
に
bringing
誰
this
もわ
to
し
you.
の言うことを
Why
聞か
will
んの
no
じゃ
one listen to me? Gasp.
受け取らぬなら
You must
絶
not
対に
enter
天
heavenly
神賞に
host
行ってはならん
elementary without this charm. Is she?
天神賞？
Heavenly Host Elementary.
そうじゃ
Yes.
行くな
You must not go. Don't go. As the old woman cried out, the paper doll fluttered lightly to the ground. Almost instantaneously, it became soaked uh, through, through with rainwater. My name began to run and quickly turned into an illegible black smudge. Seeing this, the old woman grabbed and tore at her hair. No, the charm! The way out has been lost.
これでもう抗う術は失われてしまった。
おばあちゃん、
Ma'am, please, calm down.
良いか
Listen,
絶対に
you must not go to Heavenly Host Elementary.
待っておばあちゃん
I think there's been
私
some
の学
mistake.
校は
My
如
school
月
is
学園だ
Kisaragi
よ
Academy High.
天神賞な
I've
んて知ら
never
ない
even heard of Heavenly Host Elementary. Blah. Bullshit. Rich, hack, cough. Ma'am! Rich, gasp, cough. And she did. Oh, good.
お母さん
Mom, Mom, come quick.
どうしたの？
What's wrong?
家の前で知
An
らない
old
おばあ
woman
ちゃんが
collapsed
倒
in
れ
front
た
of
の
our
救
house.
急車呼んで
Call an ambulance.
わかったわ。
Okay. Paramedics arrived in a matter of minutes. The old woman seemed to be unconscious by that point, however, so the EMTs brought out a stretcher.
お二人はこの方の関係者ですか？
Do either of you know this woman?
いいえ
No,
家
she
の前
just
で倒れ
collapsed
て
in
いた
front
の
of our
で
house.
救急車を呼んだんで
We've
す
never seen her
そうです
before.
か。
Alright.
では付き添いで乗車は
You'd
さ
be
れません
willing
か？
to ride with her in the ambulance? The idea of making this old woman go to the hospital by herself just seemed like it would have been a shameful thing to do. Sure, she was a stranger, but we had a lengthy conversation mere minutes before, so I couldn't very well say we had nothing to do with one another. So now you care about the lady or staying there instead of going to your practice.
ゆい、あんたは
ゆい
学校行っといで。
You need to get to school.
で
What?
も
この方にはお母さんがついて
Don't
る
worry.
わ。
I'll go with
あん
her
たは
to the
今日
hospital.
面接の練
You
習が
have
あ
to
るんでしょ？
practice for the interview today, right?
うん
Yeah, I guess
そ
I
れじゃあ
do.
お母さん
Thanks,
お願
Mom.
い
I'll leave her with you. Then. Good luck. I was a little hesitant, but I knew I really had to go to school today no matter what. So I left the strange woman in my mom's care and, heading towards the school, walked right by her stretcher. Good. Suddenly, a hand rose from the old woman and grabbed my skirt. Startled, I tried to jump away but found myself ensnared by her terrible bloodshot eyes. You must not go! After school, once my final practice interview had concluded, I reunited with my friends and engaged in the usual regimen of gossip and small
っ
talk.
てことがあってね
Can you believe that?
かわいい。
That's really scary.
何よそ
The
れ。
hell was wrong with her? When I described the events of that morning, everyone's eyebrows rose. They were hanging on my every word and yelping an unison at key
ゆい、
moments.
今日は
Maybe
家でお
you
と
should
なしくし
you
て
should
おけ
have
ばよ
stayed
かったんじゃ
home
ない？
today after all.
だって今日は面接
Well,
の最後の練
but I
習
had
が
to
あるからどう
practice
しても
interview.
行きたかったし
That practice interview. I couldn't miss that, you know.
何か起きない？
Just hope nothing
や
bad
だ
happens.
やめてよ
Come
何
on.
も起きないって
What could happen?
思い出し
Oh,
た。
you know that? You know what?
天神賞って言葉が
When you
ちょっと
mentioned
引っか
Heavenly
かって
Host
たんだけ
Elementary,
ど
I
さ。
thought it sounded kind of
七不思
familiar.
議に出てくるん
And
だ
I
よね。
just realized
天
why.
神賞。
You know the seven wonders, right?
七不思議って
Seven
う
wonders?
ちの学
You
校
mean
に
those
伝わる
urban
如月
legends
学園
about
七不思議の
Kisaragi?
そうそう。
Yeah,
天
those.
神賞って
Does Heavenly Host
何？
Elementary have some connection to them?
放課後のよしえさんって
One
言
of
うん
the
だけ
stories is
ど。
called
聞いたこと
Yoshi
ない。
After School. Ever heard of it?
知らない
Definitely not.
私も知らないよ。
I've never heard
どんな
of
話
it
なの？
either. What's it about?
如月学
About
園
the
が建てら
longest
れる
intro
前に
ever.
この場所にあった天神小学校の
Well,
話なんだ
it
けど
takes
さ
place at Heavenly Host Elementary, which once occupied this same spot, same plot and plot of land where Kisaragi Academy now stands. Oh, okay.
その天神小学
It
校
said
で
that one day after school, a female teacher who
校舎
had
の
been
見回りをし
patrolling
て
the
いた
grounds
女の先生
slipped
が
and fell down the
誤
stairs
って
and
階段
died.
から落ちて死
And
んだん
we
だ
know
って
from the previous game that she got killed.
その日は10月の
The accident took place on a rainy
ちょうど
October
今日み
day,
たいに
just
雨
like
が降る
this
放
one,
課後で
and occurred just
時刻
after
はさ
7 at night.
夜の7時を過ぎたあた
Wasn't
り
she being how's it called? And not molested. Aroused or no? Harassment. She was being harassed by the director or the principal or something like that, I think.
こういう
If
日
I
は
remember right.
吉江さんが出るんだ
And
って
supposedly, Yoshi still appears on days like
天
this.
神小学校がなくなってし
Even
まったことに
unaware
気づいていない
that
吉
she
江
died
さ
at
んは
Heavenly Host this
如
many
月
years
学
ago,
園の廊下
she
を
now
見回
walks
って
the halls of
歩いているん
Kisaragi
だ
Academy,
よ
believed them to be her own. And I don't think this is the only rainy day you've had in 3 years, so why until now? Yes.
やだ
Oh,
そ
come on.
れ本当
No. Is it true? Well,
ま
it
あ
wouldn't be one
実
of
際
those
見たこ
seven
とがある
wonders
人
if
がいるか
someone
ら七不
hadn't
思議にな
actually
ってるん
seen
じゃ
it
ない
happen, right?
怖
That's really creepy.
ゆい今日
Why
は
don't you
もう
head
帰
home,
った
Joey?
な
You're
そのお
the
ばあさん
only
の言
one
って
who
たこと
doesn't
ちょ
live
っと気に
nearby,
なるし
so we can walk with you.
ゆいだけ
So
道
we
が
can't
違う
walk
から
with you.
一緒に帰
And
れな
given
い
the
じゃない
stuff that old woman said to
だ
you,
ねお年寄り
yeah,
の忠告は
it's
聞いておくも
always
んだよ
to heed the hearings of the
そうだね
elderly.
なんかゾワゾワ
You
し
might
て
be
きちゃっ
right.
たし
I'm still
もう
feeling
帰ろう
kind
か
of
な
off on edge. Probably best I go home and check in with mom.
それじゃあ先に帰るね
See you
バイ
guys
バイ
later.
バイ
Bye.
バイ
See
気を
ya.
つけてね
明日
Take
ファ
care.
イトだよ
Give it everything you got tomorrow. You will.
私は
I
慌てて荷
quickly
物をま
packed
と
up my
め教
things
室
and
を
rushed
飛び出し
out
た
of the classroom.
時刻は夕方5時に
It
なる
was already about 5.
外
I
は
was
薄暗く
getting
なって
dark
きてい
out.
るけ
It
ど
was getting dark out.
階段の7
But
時
if
までには
Kana's story
ま
was
だ
to
まだ
be
余裕があっ
believed, I had until 7 before anything bad
た
might
だから
happen.
怖がる必要なんて
As I
ない
continue
と
wending
そう
my
自分
way
に言
down
い
the
聞かせ
corridor,
て廊下を
I
進
just
む
kept telling myself there's nothing to be afraid
そ
of.
れでも下駄
Even
箱に
so,
たどり着くま
it
での
felt
時
like
間
it
がや
took
けに長
an
く感
extra
じられ
long
た
time to reach the shoe lockers.
あーダメだやっぱり怖い
And I'm such a scaredy cat. Yes.
ようシシド
Hey, Shishido.
司くん
Tsukasa.
今帰りか
Heading home? Yep.
なんだよその
What's
満
with the
面の笑み
big
は
grin? Hey, it's
な
nothing.
んでもない
Hey, why don't we
ね
walk
途
together?
中ま
At
で
least
一緒
part
に
of the
帰
way.
ろうよ
お
Huh?
ああいいけど
Sure, I don't mind.
やった
Great.
司くんの顔を見たら
When I look at
一瞬だ
Tsukasa's
けだけ
face,
ど
my
怖か
fear
ったのが
vanished.
吹き飛んだ
But
こういう
for a
男
moment,
の子ってすご
these
く
are
頼
the
りになるなっ
times
て思う
when it's really nice to have boys around. I thought,
そばにいてくれたら
I felt
心
that
強いな
as long
っ
as
て無
he
条件
was
に思わ
by
せ
my
てくれ
side,
るから
nothing bad could
も
happen.
ちろんそれ
Didn't
は
hurt
気
that
にな
I
って
had
る
a
人な
crush
ら
on
な
him,
おさら
of course.
雨は朝よりも弱まって
The
いた
rain had let
そ
let
の
up
中を
since that
私た
morning,
ちは傘を差しながら
though
歩
it
く
was still coming down. The two of us walked side by side, umbrellas held high.
司くんとはたわいもない話で
Tsukasa
そこ
was
そこ笑
talking
った
and
りしたけ
laughing
ど
excitedly the
で
whole
も私は
time,
どこかぎこ
whereas
ち
I
なかったか
probably
もしれ
came
ない
off as preoccupied. I'm sure it was awkward.
得体の知れない恐怖み
A
たい
vague
なものが
sense
ちら
of
ついて
fear flickered
いつも
inside
み
me,
たいに
and it
怖
was
いという
making
自
me
信はなか
strongly
った
self-conscious. I'm certain it must have been reflected in my behavior.
シシド
My God, this is not stopping.
なんかお前顔色
You
悪
look
いぞ
kind of pale.
どうかした
Did something happen?
あ
おい
Hey,
実は
yeah, something
怖
scary
いこと
happened.
が
怖いこと
Something scary?
私の様子があ
Probably
まりにおかしかっ
seemed
たの
really
か
on edge
司くんは
because I was
心なしか
staring
表情を
at
こわ
me
ばらせて
with
私
his
を見
look
つめ
of
た
abject concern on his face.
真剣に話を
I
聞い
was
て
a
くれよう
little
としている
relieved
のが分
that
かっ
he'd asked,
た私
though.
は ちょっと
and
嬉
I
しくね
felt good to tell him about what happened.
今抱えている恐怖を
I filled
できる
him
ことな
on
ら
all the
司君と共有
details
し
and
たかった
explained how they
だから
related
私は
to
今朝あっ
Kana's
たことと
ghost
カンナ
story.
から聞いた怪
I
談
did my
話を
absolute
司君
best
に
to
話した
convey the dread I was feeling,
だけど司
but
君は
Tsukasa was, well,
は
the
七不思議ね。
seven wonders of Kisaragi High.
うん
Yeah.
あ
So
七不
you
思議を
actually
信
believe
じ
in
る
that
なんて
stuff?
夢
Sometimes
が
I
あって
wish you
い
could
い
see the world
な。
through my. Sometimes I wish I could see the world to your eyes.
え
What?
ん
Huh?
司君は
You
怖
don't
く
think
ない
it's
の
scary?
怖いっていう
It's
か
weird,
妙
sure.
だとは思う
But I
けど
wouldn't
な。
call it scary,
でも
and I wouldn't
その
worry
謎の
about
ばあちゃん
that
と七不思
what
議なんて
what
単
that
なる
old
偶然だ
woman
ろ。
said to you.
気にし
I'm
すぎ
sure
だっ
it's
て。
just coincidence. No, that is not coincidence. You cannot say it's coincidence.
でも
But
あんま深く考えない方
would
が
it
い
be
いんじゃね？
better not to dwell on it either? Either way? Huh.
そのばあちゃんは
I
確
mean,
かに気
yeah,
味
your
悪いけどさ。
encounter with her sounds
ちょっと
like it
変わっ
was
た
kind
人
of
だっただけ
unsettling.
だろ。
But she was probably just a little off, you know.
そういうんじゃなくて
That's not the issue here.
え
Huh?
解決方法を教え
I
てほし
wasn't
かった
asking you
わ
to
けじゃ
solve
な
my
いの
problems for me. Huh?
あのね
Look,
私は
I
話を
just
聞いて
wanted to
ほしかった
vent,
だ
okay?
けなの
I just wanted you to listen.
話なら
What do you
聞いたじゃん
mean?
か。
That's what I've been doing.
だから
No,
そうじゃなくて
not like that.
はあ、わか
Don't
ん
get
ねえ
it.
よ。
Are you
なん
angry
か
about something?
男の子ってこういう考え方を
Boss
する
guys always do this. I don't see the problem here.
人によるのかもしれないけど
It varies from
でも
person to
女
person,
子とは違って
of
す
course,
ぐに
but
こうすればい
guys
いじゃん
invariably
って
jump
解
right
決
into
法を提
looking
示しち
for
ゃうの
solutions to your problem or giving you advice on what to do now. Oh, that thing. Yeah. Yeah, and guys say the same thing about girls. Why do you talk about your problems if you don't want a solution? I just want to vent out, but that don't solve anything.
結果女子は言いたい
As
こ
a
とが
result,
言えなくて
girls
消化
often
不良に
can
なっ
be
てし
totally
まう
honest with them, or don't want to be, and then complain about the boys don't being honest, not being honest. Instead, the girls are not being honest either. So it's a fucked up place. At any rate, and are forced just to bottle up their feelings.
私は
Yeah.
司君と恐
I
怖
only
を共
wanted
有したか
Tsukasa
った
to
だ
share
け
in some of
司君が一
to
緒に
share
怖がって
in
くれ
some
れ
of
ば
my fears.
それでよかったのに
If he were scared with me, that would have been enough. But if he doesn't get scared by those things, he's not gonna pretend to be scared. She just wanted his attention. It's like when you say to me that you hate me because I don't get sick. My wife gets sick, and she hates me. I take care of her, and she hates my ass because I don't get sick. It's frustration because she wants to take care of me, but I cannot be taken care of because I don't get sick that often. And if I get sick, it's not that bad. That's even worse. She's saying that it's not only because of that. It's also because she's the only one getting sick. Sharing sickness, that is love for you. Welcome to relationships. She wants me sick. That's love. If he were scared with me, that would have been enough.
この時の私は
I didn't realize
気にするな
that
って
then
言葉が
then that
司
Tsukasa
君の
telling
気
me
遣いだと
not
分
to
からなかっ
worry was his way of showing
た。面
concern.
倒くさいの
Yes,
かなって
I just thought he
忘れて
was
しまったの
brushing
だ
me off, and frankly, that annoyed me.
朝に見たおばあさんの顔が
My mind flashed
血
back
がれた声
over
が
and over
何度
again
も
to the
頭の中で
face,
フラッシュバッ
the
クする
eyes, and the hoarse voice of that old woman,
それが怪談話で増幅さ
amplified
れ
and
て
distorted
じ
by
わ
the
じわと
ghost
私
story.
の気持ちを暗
These
くした
images gradually darkened my mood.
あんなに怖い思いをしたん
Maybe
だ
I
か
was
ら
traumatized
っていう
by the
甘えや
events I
八つ当たり
experienced,
の気持
or
ちもあ
maybe
っ
I
たん
was
だけ
just
どね
frustrated and needed to lash out. I don't know.
私と司くんは
But for the
こ
first
の
time
時
ever,
初めて
things had
気まずい
become
雰囲気
decidedly
になった
uncomfortable between the two of us.
それじゃ
Okay, well,
私こっちだから
Oh.
it's just me. Alright,
獅子堂
Shishido. He called out my name as I briskly walked away. I didn't really know why I was so angry or confused, but I did notice his voice was tinged with concern.
なんかあったら連絡しろ
If anything should happen, feel free to contact me. Do you have your phone numbers? I considered turning back for a second, but changed my mind and pushed forward in a huff, leaving him behind.
ただいま
I'm home. Yui, welcome back.
うん
Hmm. Greeting me at the door, my mother wore a somber expression. The woman died. I could tell right away that something had happened. I stared at her with scrunched eyebrows for a awkwardly long time before she eventually reluctantly opened her mouth to speak.
今朝のおば
But
あさ
that
ん
old
ね
woman from this morning.
うん
Yeah?
さっき亡くなったって
The hospital contacted me.
病院
She
から
passed
連絡があっ
away
たわ
a short while ago.
嘘
No. That doesn't happen when a hit and run happens with an old woman.
残念なことだけど
I'm sorry.
あなたは
You
明日
you
の
need to
推
stay
薦入試
to
の
stay
ことだけ
focused
考
on
え
tomorrow's
ていなさい
exam right now, though. Then don't tell me. I needed to vent.
うん
Yeah,
それじゃあのお
we
ば
should
あさんの
put this
話はこれで終わ
unpleasantness
り
behind us. Yes, easy, like that. Yes.
ご飯
Leave
に
it
するから
behind. Ah,
着替
I'm
え
so
ておい
happy
で
now. I'm getting dinner started now. So, how about you go get
わ
changed?
かった
Okay,
それじ
I'll
ゃあ
be in
ね
my room. I'll call you.
お母さんがキッチンへと引っ込ん
I
でい
watched
くの
my
を
mom
見
work
届けて
her way back to the
私は
kitchen,
もぞもぞと靴を脱
then
ぎ
wriggled out of my
気持ちは
shoes. My
一
mood
層
had
重くなってい
darkened
る
even more.
司くんにあんな態度をとってしまっ
Sugasa's
ただけ
attitude
で
was
も
bad
嫌な
enough,
ことだったのに
but for
あ
that
のお
old
ばあちゃ
woman
ん
to
が
have died.
亡くなってしまっただなんて
Returning to my room, I couldn't muster the energy to do anything but collapse into my chair and sprawl out on the desk.
行く
You must not go! I'm not dead yet! The last thing that old woman had said to me echoed again and again in my mind. I began, but I was so stubborn because probably the old woman just was just venting, not trying to solve anything, right? Right? My wife. Oh, someone is taking this too seriously. Kinda, a little bit. Is the game is attacking my logic? This unlogical game is attacking my logic. I begin wish I need to vent out, according to my wife. I began wishing I'd taken her more seriously. I should have accepted the paper doll and thanked her. I should have reassured her I wouldn't go to Heavenly Host Elementary. I mean, the place didn't even exist anymore, for goodness sakes. Judy didn't know, but by that time, I was exhausted. By venting? It was a hell of a day, and I had no longer even had the energy to move. I needed to change out my my school clothes, but still sprawled out over the desk. My eyelids dropped and closed. I was out. I awoke with a start. The air in my room had gotten notably cooler. and I was shivering.
寝ちゃっ
I must have fallen asleep. Rubbing my eyes, I glanced at my clock. The needles indicated it was 6:45.
もうこんな時間
It's already this late? It was blackout outside my window, streaked with lines from the still pouring rain.
明日は晴れるといいんだ
Sure
け
hope
ど
it's sunny tomorrow. Sunny for my exam. The weight of what the next day held for me came rushing into my mind. I practiced the interview process with my teachers quite thoroughly, but I was still really nervous. Everyone
そ
is.
うだ明日の用意
Okay,
して
I
お
need
か
to
なく
make
っちゃ
sure I'm ready. I need to make sure I'm ready for tomorrow. How? There was still a little time before dinner. My mind's swimming. I decided I'd take this opportunity to clean out all the notes and textbooks I wouldn't need tomorrow from my bag. Don't you just want to take a very nice and relaxing bath?
残しておくものは
Let's see. Student ID needs to stay. Obviously,
それ
handkerchief
から
and
受験
tissues
票も
for all
忘れ
the
ずにね
crying. Gotta make sure I don't forget my
Pen
exam
case.
ticket and my pen case.
嘘
Oh,
ペ
crap.
ンケースがない
Where's my pen case?
学校に
Did
忘
I
れて
leave
き
it?
ちゃった
Did I leave it at school?
さーっと血の気が引いた
My face suddenly went pale.
別に筆記用具で
Really,
困ったわ
I
けじゃ
shouldn't
ない
have been too
家にはい
concerned
くらで
over
も代わり
writing
がある
implements. We had tons at home.
だけど
But
あの
that
中には
case
司
held the
君から
pencil
借
that
りた受
Tsukasa
験必
had
勝
given
鉛
to
筆
me
が入っているの
for
だ
guaranteed success on my exam. Are your friends still in the school? Can you call them?
取ってこなくちゃ
I have to go get it. No, you don't.
お母さん
Hey, Mom,
私ちょっと
I
学校に
forgot
忘
something
れ
at
物
school.
取りに行ってくる
I'm going to run back for a sec.
え
What?
もうすぐご飯
But
で
dinner's
きるわよ
almost ready.
す
It's
ぐ戻
almost
るか
7
ら
o'clock. Why do you want to go to school? That's okay. I'll come right home.
そう
Alright. It's still
雨も降って
raining
い
though,
る
so be
し
careful. I will.
あの鉛筆は絶対に明日
Pencil
試験会
was
場へ持っていかなければ
was
なら
one
ないも
thing I
のの一つだ
absolutely
った
needed to bring with
だか
me
ら私
to
は
the test.
迷うことなく学校
Yeah,
に
not
戻
the
る道を選ん
studies
だ
or the brain or anything. Just a pencil. It's the lucky pencil of the guy that she likes. And so, without hesitation, I ran back down the road to
降
school.
りしきる雨の中
I was sprinting
足元に
as
気を配
close
り
to
ながら
full
全
speed as
速
I
力で
could
走る
to get without sleeping in
走
the
っている
downpour.
間ちら
All
り
the
と
while,
頭
the
をよぎる
numbers
のは
on my bedroom
起きた
clock
時の
ran
時間だった
through my mind.
6時45分
6:45.
七
And
不
if
思議が
Kana's
語ら
story
れて
was
い
to
た時間
believe,
は
Yoshi's haunted
夜の
the
7時
school building at 7. Can you wait until 8 after dinner and go to school? Pan pan.
校門前について真っ
As
先
soon
に
as
時
I
間を
arrive at
確
the
認
gate,
した
I glance up at the
校舎
large
につ
clock
いている大
adorning
時計が
the
指し示す
schoolhouse.
時間は
It was now
6時55分
6:55. I thought you lived very far from the school, and it took you 10 minutes. She ran. Even if she runs, it's not gonna take 10 minutes.
放課後のヨシエさんの怪談話
Yoshi,
が再び頭をよ
Yoshi
ぎる
after school. I went over the whole scenario in my head again, as best as I could recall it.
10月雨が降
After
る放課
classes
後
on a rainy
夜
day in October,
7時
7 at night.
あのおばあちゃん
Did that
もし
old
かして
woman
こんな
somehow
のが分か
know
ってい
this
て
would happen?
やだなもう
Ah,
怪
get a
談なん
hold
て
of
あ
yourself,
んなの
Yui.
作り話だって
It's just some old campfire
込
tale.
み上げてくる恐怖を抑え
I
つ
was
けるため
talking
に
to myself,
声を出して自分を叱咤する
reprimanding myself in an effort to quell the fear that was welling up in the pit of my stomach.
見上げた校舎に人影
There
はない
wasn't a soul to be seen on the
こんな時
grounds.
間なら生徒はも
By
う
this
帰宅
time,
して
the
いるだろう
students
し
had all gone
先生
home.
だってどれ
I
くらい
wonder
残
if
ってい
any
るのか
teachers were even still
け
around.
れど廊下の電
Fortunately,
気はまだ
the
全て
lights
ついて
were
いた
all still on,
あれだけ
and
明
it
る
was
ければ
bright
そ
enough
こまで
that
怖
I
い思いを
felt
しなくても
confident
教
I
室まで行けるだろ
could make it to the classroom without freaking out.
うよし
Okay,
パッと行
let's
って
just run up,
パッ
grab
と
the
済ま
case,
しちゃおう
and then come right back down. I folded up my socked umbrella left on the rack by the entrance, then changed into my indoor shoes. Then, entering the brightly lit hall, I took another look around. I guess I
やっ
was
ぱ
right.
り
Nobody's
生徒
home.
は誰も残ってない
My
み
deepest
たい
sigh echoed through the deadly silent corridor. Ordinarily, the dean of other students would drown out noises like this, but every little sound was coming through crystal clear at this late hour.
急がなくちゃ
I need
も
to
うすぐ
hurry.
7時
It's
だ
almost 7. I nevertheless sauntered towards classroom 3-4, picking up speed as it occurred to me to do so.
今朝のおばあさんね
But that old woman from
さっ
this
き
morning,
亡く
she
なったみ
passed
たい
out. She passed away a short while ago.
その天神小学校
It
で
said that one day after
放課
school,
後
a female teacher
校
who
舎の
had
見
been
回りを
patrolling
して
the
いた女
grounds
の先
slipped
生
and
が
fell down the
誤って
stairs
階
and
段から落
died.
ちその日は10月の
The accident took place on a rainy
ちょうど
October
今日み
day,
たいに雨
just
が
like
降る放
this
課後
one,
で
and occurred just
時
at,
刻はそう
after
夜
7
の7
at
時を過ぎ
night.
た後こういう日はよ
And
しえさんが出
supposedly,
るんだって
Yoshi still appears on days like this.
天神小学校がなくなってしまったことに気づい
Ever
ていない
unaware
よ
that
し
she
えさんは
died at Heavenly Host
如月
this
学
many
園の
years
廊下を
ago,
見回って
she
歩い
now
ているんだ
walks
よ
the halls of Kisaragi Academy, believing them to be her own. Gasp.
もう
Jeez,
何
what the
考
hell
え
is
てる
wrong
の
with
よ
me?
私
Why am I letting this
七不
bother
思議
me
な
so
んだ
much?
司
Tsukasa
君も
was
言っ
right.
てたじゃない
I shouldn't dwell on
深く
this.
考えない
Lightning flashed and thunder resounded with impeccable timing. I jumped in spite of myself.
とにかく
I
パッと
just
教室に行って
need to hurry
ゲ
up
ス
the
ト食べなく
stairs,
ちゃ
grab the pancakes, and then get the hell out of this creepy building. No ghost should show up in a well-lit building like this, right? And even if they did, they wouldn't be very scary under all these bright lights.
あのペンケースに入ってる鉛
I
筆は
absolutely
明日
need
の試
that
験に
pencil
どう
for
しても
tomorrow's
必要
test.
なの
You still haven't got the pencil.
だってあれは
It's my good luck
司君
charm
がく
after
れた
all,
お守り
and
なんだ
it's
もの
from Tsukasa, who you dismissed. I pick up the pace as I continue to head straight for room 304. That's a lovely sound.
中等部の方はもう
The
真っ
middle
暗
school
だ
is
な
already pitch black. I
やっ
guess
ぱ
there
り
really
誰も
is
いないの
no
ね
one else around right now.
それにしても今日はいつもよりこの廊下が
And
長い感
this
じがする
hallway feels
ただ
longer
でさえこの廊
today
下で
than
遅
it
刻しそう
ever
になるくら
has
いなの
before.
に
It was always like this. Was it always like this? Can't imagine I've ever be on time. Can't imagine I've ever be on time if it were. No. You continue to brisk walk down the impossible long hallway toward my goal, jumping every now and again whenever another thunderclap sounded. Kisaragi Academy was comprised of both a middle school and a high school, and this evening it really felt like it was flaunting its massive size. Didn't help that my classroom was the high school wing, which happened to be past the middle school, making it seem that much farther
い
away.
つもは賑やかな場所が
When a
こんなに
building
も静
that's
まり返って
usually
いる
so
と
full of light
余
goes
計に
completely
物
quiet,
寂し
it
い気が
becomes
する
such
な
a lonely
雨の
place.
音がやけに大
I
きく聞
swear
こ
I
えるの
can hear every drop of rain. I was focusing on the scanned few sounds around me as I paced down that long, lonely corridor. Then, all of a sudden, I heard a faint noise, as of someone playing an organ.
今の空
Is
耳
the
だよ
kids
ね
playing with Mayu's organs?
そうに決まってるよ
That's just my imagination, right? I mean, it had to be.
こんな時間に音楽室で
There's
楽
no
器を
way
鳴らす人
anyone
なん
will
て
still be here
いるわけ
practicing,
ない
right?
し
I took a deep breath, trying to calm my nerves. It was probably the sound of the rain, wind, and thunder mixing together. It just sounded like an organ, that's all. I was convinced. I kept walking. But then, I heard the same noise again, this time much more clearly. It was unmistakable. No,
嘘
no way.
やだ
I was paralyzed with fear. My heart was pounding, as if it were struggling to break free of someone's sinister grip.
きっとま
It's
だ吹
probably
奏楽
just
部のことか
some
先
devoted
生が
member
残って
of
聞
the
いてるんだよ
band
ね
or a
そう
teacher
だ
who's working
そう
late.
に決まっ
I'm
て
just
るよ
being stupid. If you keep standing there, yes. Thinking about it, I vaguely recall someone mentioning an upcoming performance by the Wind Instrument Club. I guess an organ will qualify? Kinda. Somebody must just stay late to practice, that's all.
何でもかん
I
でも
can't
怖い
get that
話に直
damn
結さ
ghost
せちゃい
story
けな
out
い
of
な
my head. I took another deep breath and tried again to calm my overly jittery
怖
nerves.
いと思ったら
Anything
何で
can
も
be
怖く
scary
思
if you
えるも
think
の
it
だよ
is.
ね
I heard that if you let your imagination run too wild, fear can even make you see things that aren't there. And my imagination was most definitely running wild.
あとちょっとで教室だから
I'm
走っ
almost
てこ
there. I might as well sprint the rest of the way. I decided to dash toward my classroom so I could get out of this hole as quickly as possible. Finally reaching that familiar door, I swiftly open it and flicker on the lights. So you're just entering the fucking classroom.
やっ
Alright,
とたどり
I
着
made
い
it
た
now.
と
Now I just have
あ
to
とはペンケースを
absolutely
忘れないよう
certainly
にしなくちゃ
I don't live here without that pen case again. Thanks to all my unexpected pauses to freak out over thunder and lightning, it took me far longer than they should have to get here. It was already well past 7.
7時か
7 o'clock, huh? It was the appointed time when the ghost of the teacher was supposed to appear, at least according to the school legend.
何もないじゃない
No undead educators here. Let out a sigh of relief and relaxed my shoulders a bit. The lights were on both sides, both inside and outside, and out in the hallway. Wait, sorry. The lights were on both inside the classroom and out in the hallway. Sure, it was still dead silent, but the fear I'd been feeling had completely melted away.
全然
Yeah,
怖く
there's
ないよ
nothing to be
やっぱり
afraid of.
七不思議
The
だなんて
seven
嘘
wonders
だったん
aren't
だ
real.
な
I grabbed the pen case I'd come back for and shoved it into my pocket.
よしこれで任務完了だね
Okay, mission accomplished. With my long ordeal behind me, more or less, I looked around the classroom and let out another sigh. I'd only ever known this classroom when it was bursting with activity, and thus found its eerie silence and utter stillness to be oddly fascinating.
教室に私一
Such
人
a strange feeling, being alone in a
なんだか
classroom
不
like
思議な
this.
感じがするな
I got the idea in my head to try doing something I normally I wouldn't be able to. Like standing at the teacher's podium and writing on the blackboard.
こんなシチュエーション
You
めった
still
に
wanna
ない
stay
し
here. Chances like this don't come around too often after all. Yes, they do. Every time the teacher just leaves. To me, the area behind that podium from which teachers conduct their lessons was like a sacred space. And and how about when the the class rep is just standing behind and giving speeches and all, or organizing the stuff for the special occasions and the festivals and such. I dream of standing there myself one day, and could hardly resist its pull when presented with a rare opportunity like
今
this.
なら誰も見てな
Well,
い
no
し
one's looking. To my classmate, this will seem like such a silly, stupid dilemma, but that didn't change the way I felt at that
どう
moment.
しようかな
Should I or shouldn't I? Alright, I was waiting for a thing like this to come out because this episode has been already way too long, almost 3 hours, and I've been reading all the time. I'm tired, so I'm gonna leave the episode here, and we will continue this the next time. And Course Party, the book of unending stories, the book of shadow. All right. So I'll see you next time for more. Bye bye.